Welcome to Beneath the Cowl, Cosplay Alliance podcast. We are celebrating Black cosplayers, Black excellence in the shortest month of the year, but I'm not going to get into that. This will be an unapologetically Black podcast discussion. Feature some amazing cosplayers. We're going to talk about racism, colorism, body shaming, elitism, gatekeeping, internalized impression, misogyny, and best practice for community engagement. So let's get into it. We're gonna start with who's Shakira.
Oh, hi, I'm Shake Your Fawn. It's pronounced like Shake Your Fawn, like you shake something.
Okay.
I've been cosplaying for about 7 years. Technically, publicly for about 4 years. Prior to that, I've just been crafting cosplays in my room. But yeah, I'm also a poet, a voice actress. I haven't been featured in any big stuff, but I'm hoping. My next con will be PoochieCon in March, where I'll be hosting a panel about plus size cosplayers and promoting body positivity. I'm a huge advocate for that. Mainly because I've been plus size all my life, and it's been kind of like it has been hard to find cosplays and costumes in my size. So I just decided one day, let me craft it, and that's how I got into cosplay.
Okay, CC.
I love that. And by the way, don't ever play yourself, with the voice acting. Like you're gonna be great. You ain't gonna, But anyway, hi everybody. My name's Trina Lawson. Some people call me CC the Geek. I use she, her pronouns. I'm live and direct from my desk here at my lovely 9 to 5. But I am a cosplayer, entrepreneur. Some people consider me an activist. A variety of many things, and I'm just happy to HBCU alum. How we get down over here, but just happy to be in this space with y'all. I'm looking forward to having a really rich conversation.
And I concur with the activism.
Appreciate you.
Yuri.
Yeah, I'm Yuri Williams from Los Angeles, California. I've been cosplaying since 2009 after losing my mother to cancer. Found that this was my calling, and I accepted it. Finally took it under my belt, and I love doing it.
And a couple years ago, I did an interview with Yuri talking about it. So if you want to go back and check out his nonprofit, A Future Superhero and Friends, it's somewhere on the YouTube channel. All right, Feminist Chronicles.
Hi, I'm Jess, aka Feminist Chronicles. I've been cosplaying for about 7 years now, and my whole drive and passion for cosplaying is to highlight strong female characters, femme fatales, villainesses, and to promote body positivity, anti-slut shaming, and self-expression through the art of cosplay. And I'm happy to be here.
All right, we're happy to have you. Venture Bros.
Hey everybody, my name is Venture Bros. My real name is Michael Allen. I was a former captain in the United States Air Force. Now I'm civilian sector. I started cosplaying in 2017. I've gotten Cosplay of the Year 4 times. I'm also a power lifter. I won the Midwest Open back in 2019 and 2020. And I specialize in cosplaying anime characters, game characters, old men characters, mustache characters, buff characters, nerdy characters. I mean, if it's a character that gets my attention that I vibe with, I'm cosplaying. And that's pretty much how it is. I will start off cosplaying when I was 305 pounds. So over the years, I gradually got in better shape because I was getting shamed a lot during cosplay and some other things. I mean, my daughter called me fat. So that was kind of the nail in the camel's back that had me like, okay, let me go ahead and start losing weight. But yeah, when I would cosplay, my first cosplay was Killer Bee. Everybody was fine with that because he's big. But my second cosplay was Miles Morales, Everybody was like, "Oh, Miles got fat and stuff," you know what I'm saying? So I went through that body shaming a lot back when I first started cosplaying in 2017. So, but yeah, cosplay has just been a way for me to express myself creatively, and over the years, it's been just a fun thing. And once I started getting bigger as a cosplayer, the hobby started paying for itself, and here we are.
All right, Mr. Captain America.
You
And
know,
our
one goes for
reigning,
one can, you know.
our reigning cosplayer of the year, Tafkar. And we can't see your video. I don't know if it.
Yeah, it's probably affecting the sound too.
One sec. Okay, so he's gonna jump back in here. So seem like there's definitely been some experiences with body shaming. Let's get into that. So how do you go about promoting like body positivity? And how you deal with the negative aspects of it?
There's a lot of groups. Oh, there goes Teflar right there.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get your intro.
Yeah, it's working now. All right. Top Card Design. I'm a big Prince fan. It stands for the artist formerly known as Rouse. That's with a ALLY, not formerly. So that's what everybody used to call me. Well, they used to call me by my last name when I played football. So that's how that came about. I found cosplay through, Dragon Con in 2018. I'm like, oh shit, there's a parade. Everybody's dressed up. And yeah, it's been up ever since then. I took a class at Joanne's, and then I found that I had a like for teaching people. So now I have a small, very small, modest business selling tutorials. And in my spare time at the local library, I teach children and people of all ages. I like to cosplay characters that don't show my face, mostly because I like to transform and I like the anonymity of it. So yeah, that's anything from Power Rangers to monsters. And yeah, I would say my last year I got more into showing my face. So that's the long and short of it.
Show your face, man.
Show your
Black
face.
men gotta be showing their face out here.
Face
We gotta
card,
be
face
known.
card.
There's like a handful of notorious cosplayers who never show their face. And there was one woman in particular who, I guess because of her job or something, she like nobody knew who she was. Like, but she was killing the game. I can't remember what cosplay it was.
When I first started doing like little dance videos on TikTok, I would always wear the Madara mask, like every time I did a dance one. And somebody asked, like, why do you only do dance with this Madara? And I was like, I want to show my face on dance.
Okay, so we'll get into the body positivity discussion. How you deal with negativity, and then how do you go about promoting positive?
Oh, well, luckily for at least body positivity, and I don't know if she experienced this, but I know for me, like, there's certain Facebook groups that are for plus size cosplayers. So before I lost weight, they were real supportive. And once I started losing weight, you can't post it here no more. But before, they're real supportive, of plus size cosplayers, and they'll share your stuff. And that community was really tight knit, and I was lucky to find them when I first started.
Can you send those Facebook groups over? Because I would really like to join them.
Yeah, I got you. Like I said, when I started losing weight and then posting over there, they're like, "Hey, what are you doing? You're not plus size anymore."
but that's the thing. For me, speaking from personal experience, like I've always been plus size my whole life, and I have my own body goals. But my thing is that while I'm trying to achieve those goals, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna like cosplay the characters that I want to, no matter what size I am currently. I'm not gonna like miss out or like or say, oh, I can't fit into that cosplay and whatnot. I'll wait until I'm at a decent size to cosplay that character. If I want to cosplay a character right now, I'm going to cosplay that character. I'm going to like craft something that's like my size, body appropriate, and do the best that I can. And I've always struggled with fat shaming, body shaming, my whole life, and it's been a very long journey. I said previously that I started cosplaying 4 years ago publicly because I felt insecure about my size, and it took. I'm 29 right now, so if it took me like, damn, I'm trying to do the math. 29 minus 4, that's 25. If it took me 25 years to get to a place that I'm comfortable in showing my body, then I can't imagine how it could feel for other people. Yeah. So everyone has their body goals. Everyone has their experiences. Everyone has different reactions when it comes to body shaming and fat shaming, and it's not an easy road.
Well, one of the pluses to it, I felt that one of the pluses side to it, the being plus size, was I had to learn how to create my own cosplay. So everything I was trying to order offline would not fit. Like anything I ordered when it was 2X, it was always way too tight. It didn't look right. So that's when I had to learn how to create my own cosplay, was because of the fact that I was too big for them. So I don't know if you had to do that yourself as well.
Yes, and because of that, I'm learning new crafts, learning new techniques. Like it expands like your whole world when it comes to cosplay. You develop a hobby and a craft, and I'm so happy that like, well, I'm not happy that like you had to go through all of that, but I'm happy that you eventually learned a craft, and look at you now.
Hey, well, I prefer to get called fat versus getting called the Nword, which happens like every time I cosplay. You know what I'm saying? So
really, wow.
Yeah.
But this is I just want to, because about the N-word, right? So has anyone ever called you that in person?
Oh, you see me in person.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know how big I am. Yeah, right. The big 6'2" black man now. They ain't saying that in my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't not in many years. And usually I find it interesting. Usually if I'm called the N-word, especially by a man, they add the B word after it. So it's like that. They feel the need to like insert like, oh, by the way, I'm misogynist and racist, you know? Like,
you had somebody in person say that to you, or was this online rhetoric at a convention?
Not at a convention. No.
Okay, got it. Yeah, and people are not that bold. I haven't had any experience where anybody said anything crazy to me in person, but online it's like part of the course for people to say whatever they want to say.
Yeah, for sure. Here's a funny story. Actually, I was not too far from here. Coming from work, I used to work down the street and where they call 14th and K. It's like the belly of the beast in DC. And I was crossing the street and I had just made the light, and the guy who turned, I guess I ain't moved fast enough for him. And he rolled down his window. He's like, do you even speak English? And I'm like, I'm a Black American, you fucking idiot. He thought I was, I don't know what he thought I was, but I just thought that was funny. Like, you just see something that doesn't look like you and you just automatically assume that I'm a foreigner, you know? That's like,
he had that one lined up, waiting to say that to somebody.
Yeah, he was like, give me a reason, definitely. And I just started laughing like, you dumbass.
Yeah, outside the nerd space, you could hear. Outside the nerd space, you definitely probably could hear somebody calling you the N-word. But in the nerd space, they'll never do it in person. But online, they'll come by the loads. Like it'll be like I told people, and me and Jay Hotson, we're in the podcast. This was a couple of years back, and he was like, I just block them. I don't even say anything. I delete their comments. But when I first started going viral, I used to sit there and argue with them. I'm like, oh, your mama's this. And as soon as they call me N-word, I keep arguing back. And it's just so many. It'll be like over 1,000 people dropping the inbox, especially when I first did Omni, man. It was like, oh, Omni nigga and all this. And it was just like loads. And I was trying to get at everybody, but it was so many after a while. You're just like, okay, let me just block them. Let me just block
Yeah.
these people. Yeah.
And not for nothing, I feel like there's a huge like colorist element to that because I don't experience that nearly as much as like I know you you and I have talked about this where like you're like every time you cosplay, somebody calls you out, you know, the N-word. And I'm just like, that's not now what I do experience is people hypersexualizing me. Like they'll make sexually suggestive comments, and it don't matter what I'm wearing. Like it really don't matter what I'm wearing.
No,
What
it
I'm
was the
talking
same.
about.
It was one of the posts that you and I both did together when we cosplayed Omni-Man and Debbie.
Yes, and they
They were
kept
making a
calling me
bunch
a
of
pet.
suggestions.
Yes.
Yeah, they were making all.
It was crazy, but it was like they were just doing it because they was looking for a reason because they know that that's like, oh, but you watch this whole show, and that's the one thing you picked up, and you talking to me and calling me that like I'm not a real person. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a person cosplaying her. I'm not her. You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird. The fetishization of it is when like kind of in their mind you are that character and you're there to. And I've even had guys say this where they're like, you know, as an influencer, your job is to like please me and impress me. And I'm just like, you do realize that like I'm doing this on my own and you just so happen to follow me. Like you're not subscribed to me. And even if you were, like, I don't know. I feel like
they like to project their ideas of who you should be, what you should be, and they'll throw it at you. But yeah, to your point, I feel like also the colorist aspect of it, I haven't received that many comments, but I have had comments where there's a racial component to it. So I remember when I did my Hinata cosplay, they think they're so original, right? When they come up with these racist names, they were calling me Nigata. And
wow.
I had to sit there and I was just like, you really took the time to fix your fingers to type that, and you thought it was clever and funny, and it's actually really corny and lame. And not only that, but you know, they do come. You get those racist comments, but I can't imagine every time that I post a comment, somebody has something to say. I don't know why people have so much time on their hands to just say ignorant. Can we cuss on this podcast?
Yeah, you
ignorant shit.
Get it out.
So he was trying to hold it back a little bit.
You know, get it out.
Right. Let me not get too hot on here.
And even if it isn't like saying nigga, right? They might be like, oh, black Batman. Like, no, bro, I'm just Batman.
Yeah.
I'm not the black whoever insert character.
Right.
I'm just Batman.
Right, or whatever stereotype and stuff they want to project on you. But oddly, interestingly enough, I think that a lot of it, like that's the more overt piece of it, right? And that we kind of see online. It's easy for that to kind of be pointed out. And a lot of those people who make those comments are really people on the outskirts of like the nerd community. They're not in the cosplay community per se, but I think that like within the cosplay community, you do see a lot of like the community, first of all, super segregated. Even like in terms of my feed, like the algorithm I mean, maybe that's also because I just be liking black shit, but the algorithm primarily just feeds me black cosplayers. But even like as I see the community and how like people move, and I get it to some extent, like it's a natural thing for us to do. But I also noticed that there are like certain cosplayers who aren't black who won't work with black cosplayers, right? Where on our side, it almost feels like a rite of passage where if you want to be a big cosplayer, and if you want to be mainstream, and if you want to be recognized by in the community at large, you got to be willing to work with non-black people, right? And it's nothing wrong with that, but it's like you shouldn't have to feel like you have to do that in order to be accepted. You know, I think it's a lot more nuanced when you get into the weeds of it, because nobody, like you said, Feminist Chronicles, no one's going to go up to you and call you out your name. So it's going to manifest itself in other ways.
Right.
So there's a lot of different types of racism, right? So you have people who will call you the N-word, but then you have, you know, photographers who don't want to work with you because you're black. You got other big cosplayers who won't work with you because you're black. And this is like common. Like ever since I've been in the community, I've seen it, you know, and so there's a lot of different racism you'll deal with. I mean, you'll go to a con and you might not be treated the same as like other guests.
Right.
And it's just really disappointing, you know. And as Black people, we're kind of geared to like, okay, we're not going to let that stop us, but that doesn't change the fact that it shouldn't happen, period.
Right.
Right.
Oh, facts.
Right.
Speaking on sorry.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Speaking on toxicity in the cosplay community, it's just so many people who criticize how you cosplay, especially like for a Black cosplayer like myself. I remember one year I went to Anime NYC. I went as Death, and I had my hair. I had box braids, and I had them painted like waxed blue. And someone, I'm not gonna like say their race or whatever, but you already know, they're gonna comment and say, "Oh, you could have just wore a wig. Why did you have to color your braids?" And they almost touched my hair. I'm like, "No, do not." God. And it's like, I'm trying to explain, like, there are so many things that Black people can do to cosplays that will make it like 100% better. And it's just customizing it to like how comfortable we are with it. Like me, I don't necessarily wear wigs. I like to style my hair in the style of a character. Like I wear box braids. I'm gonna get colored wax, and then I have like white people telling me, "Oh no, that's not accurate. You should just wear a wig." No, that's fucking toxic.
And this is where cosplay your way comes in. Like you don't have to be accurate. Like I like seeing different interpretations of cosplays. I love to see, the differences and people. That's where you're being creative, not just doing exactly what's out there. And Venture Bros, we were on the panel literally talking about natural Black hair and how you can use it in cosplays and how it's like just a way you can like, show your culture, show, different things as a Black person and just still be dope in cosplay. Most times I mean, it depends on what I'm cosplaying. I will wear a wig, but most times it's not anime. Sometimes I have worn kind of the anime wigs, but sometimes I try to like really incorporate my Blackness into my hair.
Top Car Design joins.
It's just so like
I try to explain to people when they've done certain characters. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But when I do certain characters, I like to do a lot of anime characters. So a lot of the characters I do, they have long hair, you know what I'm saying? And it's their whole style. So when I started cosplaying, I was like, okay, I don't feel like I look right with the straight hair wig. I just don't feel like I do. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let me get a lock wig. And if the character has blue hair, I might not want to do Black hair. I don't feel like that character still. I want to do what's closest to that character, but I want to do something that looks right on me. So I would have like sky blue long locks, as that character. And at first people were like, oh, you shouldn't do it like that character. That character doesn't have locks, blah, blah, blah. But then when I had like voice actors see my cosplay and share them of that voice act, that character, that's like, okay, I must be doing something right. Because the voice actor just shared my light blue locks on his page, so it's like, okay, now what you gotta say? So I kind of feel like that, because especially when I first started cosplaying, a lot of people weren't having Afrocentric hair with their characters. And I like to, that's kind of like what I do with most of my characters, because I have yet today to really have any characters that I've ever done straight hair with. And it's not anything against anybody who does. I just feel personally I don't look right with it,
And that's the point of cosplaying. Like you do what you can and what you want with a cosplay to make sure that you feel like yourself and also represent that character.
Exactly.
Agreed.
I just don't like the fact that lady told you, like the politics of like put your hair away and put a wig on is just like really like there's so much historical racist connotations to that. It's just like, girl, get out my face.
Yeah, it's like equal to like it's like equal to like corporate culture years ago. Oh, your hair is kinky or you can't wear box braids, is unprofessional. And now we're bringing it into the cosplay community. No,
right. And if I want to wear a straight wig, it's gonna look good. My yaki gonna look good, like them Chronicles yaki look good.
Yeah.
Okay, period.
It was a question in the comments, and they said that a lot of high-level cosplayers don't like to cosplay with low-level cosplayers, yeah, some people are like that, where if they've reached a certain cosplay status and they only want to work with people with big followings. um the thing is, and I know a lot of people get mad about that. Like me personally, I'll work with anybody. I don't really care. As long as your stuff is good quality, I'll work with you. But we can't police who people like to work with. That's the one thing. It's a difference if people don't want to work with you because of race. Some people want to work with people because it's a business. So if they're taking it as a business aspect and they want to build their following that's already big, then in a business aspect, it would be practical to use another big cosplayer to work with them. I understand that aspect, so I don't come down too hard on people who are like that. I don't like the behavior if they act smug to other cosplayers. That's a difference,
Right.
but
Yeah.
some people don't necessarily exclude because of race.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I would have. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead,
you go ahead.
CC. Oh,
I was just gonna say, like I've been accused of that, like being elitist, if you will. But like my whole thing is, I'm very precarious about who I work with because I have a con attached to my name. I have this nonprofit attached to my name, and a lot of so for me, I'm more prone to working with people I trust. And also I've had, I've been burned. Like I've been burned professionally. I've had photographers hit on me. I've had photographers grope me. I've had photographers, put hands on me. And people who I thought were my friends, like drag my name through the mud or whatever the case may be. So for me personally, I just like to work with people who I trust and who I have a really strong rapport with. And most of those people are people who I've known for years, and we've come up together. Like when me and Venture Bros first met, we didn't have over 10,000 followers. Like when I watched Feminist Chronicles grow. I watch a lot of people in the community grow. So it's not even that. I'm always willing to work with other folks. So it's not even just necessarily that. I think people have to sometimes take a look at, like you said, once you get to a certain level, you have to really be. And then when you have like an event attached to your name too, and you're a woman, you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain things that you just can't do. Like I can't even like just date around the community because the word gonna get out that CC the Geek is a hoe in the community, and it don't hit the same as when a man is doing it. You know what I'm saying? So like and I'm attached to the HBCU community, which not for nothing is drenched in respectability politics. So it's always walking a tightrope when it comes to things like that. And I just think that you really have to be in it to appreciate that.
yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
put the disclaimer in pictures with me and you together, like we're not together. She's just a partner. She's just a business partner.
No, you're absolutely right, CC, about everything that you said. I've had similar experiences. Not proud to say it, but I've had photographers and other cosplayers try the hell out of me. And yeah, to this person's comment, it's not always necessarily about people feeling like they're so important that they can't cosplay with smaller cosplayers. It really is about community and who you build rapport with and safety with. Because this community is just like any other community. It's a microcosm of society, and you have a lot of bad actors, bad faith actors in here, people who are predators, that are looking to prey upon people, or just disrespect you or take advantage of you, especially as a woman cosplayer, female cosplayer. It is very important that we're very selective about who we work with. And also, Venture Bros, you're absolutely right. When I was first starting out cosplaying, it was so easy for me to just, yeah, I'm having fun. This is all hobby. I'll cosplay with whoever, until I had experiences with people that you can't just, oh, we like the same things. We like anime, we like Marvel, and we like cosplay. Let's work together. And then you find out that they're insane and they're trying to take advantage of you, or whatever the situation is. And it's like, I can't just link up with somebody because we cosplay together. You really do have to build rapport and safety with people. And yeah, it's some crazy stuff that happens out here. You have to stay safe, and you need to know who you're working with, as well as the business aspect of it. Some of us are not doing this for fun anymore. This is something that's supplementary to our main salaries, or it's our hobby, but also we only have time for it when we're monetizing off of it. So great point, Venture Bros.
All right, I wanna ask a question. So I know we got Yuri here, and so we're gonna talk about cosplay, uh, doing charity events, things like that. Something when I do have the time, I like to promote mental health. So that's kind of one of my things that I like to support when I'm doing cosplay. Yuri, let's talk a little bit about your nonprofit and how you help people.
Yeah, my nonprofit, A Future Superhero and Friends, was started after I lost my mom, 2009 to cancer. I was fell into like a 5 year depression period, and one day I was just at work, came back for work, the first day back, and I don't know if you know Hip Hop Trooper, but he popped up on my Explorer page, and I started following him. I love Star Wars since I was a kid, and I used to go to work with my mom, and these people used to bring Star Wars figures and Spider-Man figures, and I, fell in love with it then. And after her death, that's when I said, let me tune into my childhood, and I went back and put on the Spider-Man suit, and I went to Skid Row, which is probably the biggest homeless population in the world, and I gathered up some hygiene kits and food, and I went out there, and just the reaction of these people's faces, it's just like you channeling it back into your childhood. It was just like a relief for them for the moment. So, that's when I realized, I'm doing something right. So the next week I went, and I had on regular clothes like this, and they got mad. They're like, "Go home, go get the Spider-Man costume," and da 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 da. So, that's when this journey, started happening. And, I think the first suit I got was Spider-Man, then Kylo Ren, and Mandalorian, and Stormtrooper, and all these different things. And then I decided to venture across the 50 states and visit children with disabilities, special needs, and those battling life-threatening illnesses. Traveled to 50 states 5 times already during the holidays, visiting one child or two children in each city and state. And, I've been doing that for the past 5 years, and, visiting the houseless community, visiting the veterans out here, the elderly, and just the people that, seem to be forgotten. But, this cosplay have, actually saved my life, because that depression period I was in, I could have probably ended up homeless myself, but, thanks to the cosplayers like you guys, and Hip Hop Trooper, I always thank him for helping me get my mind straight and get back on track, because I was lost for those 5 years.
Big shout out to Hip Hop Trooper. He's
Yeah, that's a
dope
good
one
dude.
out there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Welcome to the chat, Asia MK.
Sorry for the delay. I am so sorry. But I'm so glad I was able to hear that. Thank you for
It's
sharing your
it's
story.
it's
I got a follow up question, Yuri. So so you were on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
Did you have any idea that The Rock was gonna surprise you?
Nah, I always think like 2 steps ahead of people. So the producer told me I was gonna have an interview with Superman's son. So I went to Google, and I'm like, damn, does Superman even got a real son? So the producer knew what I was doing, and he's like, oh, you gotta turn your phone off. You're messing up the mic and blah blah blah. So I turned the phone off. I don't know if you remember, but I had my back towards the door. But before, I worked for corrections, and I just had that mind state of having myself away from the door. I sat on the other side, and then he was like, "Damn, this guy, I don't know what he's doing." So he's like, "Can you just sit on the other side?" And da 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 da. So I'm sitting there eating, and I don't know if you saw the video. I'm shaking, my knees shaking. I'm like, "Damn, this." I was in there for like an hour. I'm like, "What the hell are they doing?" So I hear the door open, and I didn't turn around, and I heard Strahan's voice. And he's like, Yuri Williams. And I just heard it, and I stopped, and I'm like, damn, that's Strahan. And then Dwayne said, Yuri Williams, and his voice. And I'm like, shit, they got me. So I turned around, and they were both right there. And that, rewinding back, they had reached out to me probably like the year before, and they asked for my buddy. They said they had something coming up, and they wanted him to be on there, so he hid this for me for like a year. And those 2 weeks before they called me, I was about to stop, doing this nonprofit, because I'm feeding like 80% of my money into this, you know. And one day I was in the car at work, and I said, God, look, if you want me to, you know, continue to do this, you need to do something, brother, you know. And I said this aggressively and loving at the same time. But 2 weeks later, that's when you know, Good Morning America called and said, you know, we want you to come out there, and that's when all that, you know, all that good stuff started happening.
Well deserved, and we'll, you know, I know you take donations. We'll put the link out later as well.
Okay. You
Yeah,
still
yeah.
gonna send me that $3,000, right, Chris?
What happened? 3?
You can hear me?
That PPP loan.
Yeah,
We talk.
yeah,
We talk.
yeah.
We talking Andre,
All right,
like from
Mr.
Outcast.
Moneybags.
3
Wait.
stacks.
You getting paid to be on here?
Yeah. Oh,
Stop.
my bad. My bad, man. I'm sorry.
All right, Asia. Moving on. Asia MK. Let's do a
Howdy.
little intro to you. You know, just telling people about yourself and when you started cosplaying.
I'm gonna make it quick and painless, but I'm Asian MK. I got it from South Park. I liked hearing, you know, the teacher say it, so I was like, I'm incorporating my name. But I actually been cosplaying since high school, but I didn't know what it was called until I got older. I started being around people who liked similar things as I am, and I thought to myself, oh, this is what it's called. This is what I've been into, and I can purchase stuff, I could make stuff and make my own original cosplays and have my own take on things. But I, with that being said, I think I've been cosplaying for about over 10 years. I'm not trying to, you know, tell people my age, but you know, I'm young. And I really enjoy it. I really love having my take on these characters and these movies and TV shows and games. I feel like I can be anybody that I want to and still be true to myself. But that's just a little bit about me.
And I'm still waiting on where my compound V is.
Oh yes. That is coming up. We're going to talk about that later. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
top secret,
Mm-hmm.
sir. You need
Mm-hmm.
to lock that down.
So we talked about business and cosplay. So as a recent exposure is not a form of payment. It is not. And I had someone reach out to me last week about, oh, can you do this for my brand or whatever? And I was like, okay, how much you paying? He's like, oh no, we're just gonna give you the product for free. So you just want free advertising, basically, is what you're saying. So let's talk about, people hitting you up and they just want exposure. They don't want to pay you for your services, your time, and what you're worth. Go ahead. Jess is like, how much time you got?
Yes, I was ready. I was waiting for you at the door. Okay, so I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have experienced this, especially as a cosplayer of color. People like to lowball us and just give us free product and think that they're doing something for us. What people don't realize is that actually caring about your craft and doing content creation with intention, it takes time, it's work. And so people think that, you know, you just take a picture with the product and that's the end of it. That's not what it is. You're planning, you're setting, you have to have gotten equipment to make your pictures look the way that they look. You have to take time and hours to edit these, you know, photos and videos. So it's a lot of work. And I feel like, as just in my personal experience, I've had a lot of people approach me wanting me to work for free. And it's highly offensive because it makes me think that, one, you don't take my craft and my work seriously. I put a lot of effort and time into the things that I produce. And so it's an insult if you're coming at me and you're telling me you're paying me in free product, because what you really want is free promotion so that you can pocket all of the money and I do work and I get a free, you know, whatever the hell you're sending me. So I think it's really offensive. That's one of the reasons that I almost, not exclusively, I work with other brands as well, but Bad Waifu, Linda Walton of Bad Waifu, she takes care of her people. And she approached me in a manner that made me feel like she respected what I did, and she looked at me as a valuable asset to her company. And I think a lot of people can take note from owners and creators and designers like her, because people out here really will try to swindle you and get you to work for free. And I think it's bullshit. So that's my 2 cents, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right.
Well, all right
Anyone
now.
else want to say anything on the topic?
You better preach.
Right. Since we're on the topic,
It's all. My bad.
I was going to say, I would like to talk about bartering versus exploitation, since you so graciously brought that up. And this will be a perfect segue to Venture Bros, because we barter a lot, you know. And essentially, like, bartering is when you're offering something or you're asking for something from somebody, but you're offering something that is of equivalent, the law of equivalent exchange, right? And I do that a lot, especially because, you know, like I haven't made my first million yet. I'm still, you know, I'm doing all right, but I'm on my hustle, I'm on my grind. And that's how a lot of us wind up you know, getting work done. It's like, yo, or even with Asia, like I did the collaborative post with Asia, you know, you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, we're both in this video, let's share it. And you know, if I depending on the rapport that I have with people, like some people I just know like are gonna show up for me, right? Like Venture Bro is one of those people who I know is just gonna show up, whatever. And if I have an opportunity that comes my way, I'm automatically passing it to him because I know that he would do the same for me. You know, but everybody doesn't always extend that courtesy. So you just gotta be mindful. And it's not to say that, oh, I'm only helping people out so that they can help me back. But you also can't pour from an empty cup, right? So my whole thing is, even if you are bartering with somebody, make sure that you get whatever it is that y'all doing in writing. You know, y'all have it signed, like for real. Just until you can like build rapport with people, and then hopefully you get to a space where you can do certain things and you can just take people's word for it. But it's not always going to be the case, you know. So just that's kind of like my whole thing is treat it like you would any other professional aspect of your life where there is a personal element to it, because this is all a passion project for us. This is all something that we love to do. And you do wind up making, you know, real friends in this community. But at the same time, also understand that it's very much an industry with a lot of money in it. And that there are people who, you know, shoot, I work in nonprofit, you know, like exploiting your passion is a thing, you know, where people are like, hey, I know that you're passionate about this cause, so I'm going to like suck you dry, you know, because I know that you're really while I give you little to nothing in exchange. And that was part of the reason why I created HBCU Con, was just because I didn't believe in that philosophy. I believe in working in collaboration and being in community, especially with my people, and to harbor and create spaces where we can all shine, and that I don't feel like my shine, you know, that I have to dim somebody else's shine in order for me to look good.
Like, I like to support Black business, but sometimes there is an extent to the support. So if you come out with the new clothing line and you're just telling me about it, and you ask me, you know, Venture Bros, do you mind taking a picture with, you know, some of my nerd gear and, you know, to get off the ground? I don't mind doing that, you know, because I get you're starting out. I'm trying to support Black business. Cool. But if you're already well established and you're coming at me like that, then I'm gonna, you know, show you my rates. And if you're like, oh, I only do it for free, I mean, I don't charge. I mean, I'm not going to pay you. It's like, yo, you're established already. There's no reason why you can't pay me, you know. So, and usually a lot of cosplayers, from what I've seen, our rates aren't really that outlandish. It's really small rates. You know, even when it goes to guesting for a con, usually I'll send my contract over and I'll show my rates, you know. And sometimes these cons, they'll look at it like, oh, we don't pay our people. If you have certain big cosplayers going to your event, I know you're paying them because I know that cosplayer charges. And if I contact that cosplayer and they tell me they charge, and especially if they aren't Black and they tell me that they charged you and you paid, then we're gonna have a serious problem, you know, and that's happening. So
I'm sorry, I just wanted to add on to the point that Venture made. Agreed. You know, when you're working with smaller companies that are just sometimes starting out, it's nice to be able to work with them and just support the community, because you know, as cosplayers in the community that we are, we want to see our people win. So I definitely agree to that. There's instances where, you know, hey, don't worry about it. I got you. I'm gonna put you on. We've had rapport for a while. I believe in what you do, and I want to see you come up. But you're absolutely right. When it comes to people that you got over 10K followers and it looks like you're making a lot of sales and your brand is really hot right now, and you're asking me for free work, it's just disrespectful. And I just
Right.
wanted to add on to that, because I definitely agree with that. Help out people that are just starting up. That's a part of building the community. And but some people really try it.
Anyone else want to add anything to this?
I mean, I got stories for days, but I didn't want to
Like, for real, we could be here all night. I mean, you wanted some tea, honey, but
people trying to take advantage for free work, you know.
Okay, so sometimes it be your own people though.
it really do. And that's kind of like,
Sometimes.
yeah.
So let's talk about internalized oppression.
Mhm.
The gatekeepers, you know.
Well, I'll say this. I do feel like women cosplay, it's night and day when it comes to like gatekeeping oppression compared to black men in the cosplay community
Yeah.
versus, especially with you know, black people in our community, I should say, versus
Yeah.
what black people go through. Because you guys never get credit for shit. Like, it's like black women cosplayers will get compared to male cosplayers. No offense to the guys that are cosplaying, but we don't nearly put in as much work as the women. And you know, I'm not pandering or nothing. It's just common sense. You're not going out getting your hair done for this cosplay. You're not doing makeup tutorials and getting your face, you know, putting all this makeup on for the cosplay. You're not building. You're probably definitely not so if you're a guy. Some guys do. Don't get me wrong. The majority, I was about to say 95% don't. So it's like the stuff that women cosplayers actually do for these cosplays is really not comparable. And I hear a lot of people gatekeep, especially in, you know, cosplay contests, about like, oh, well, she just sold or she just did this. And it's like, actually, she did a lot more stuff than that. It's just you're not paying attention to it.
Yeah. And I think it always hurts. It always hurts more when it comes from your own people. Like and that was the thing when Shakir was talking earlier, or I think it was Feminist Chronicles was saying earlier about having rose-colored glasses in the community. And it's a really, I've talked to a lot of Black women in the community, just, you know, and it's almost like a fucked up rite of passage where Black women have these rose-colored glasses and the community is the best thing that, you know, you've never known existed. And then something happens to you, whether it's a personal relationship, whether you dated somebody, or whether you got in business with somebody, helped them start their business or whatever from the ground up and helped it become the hot shit in the community. And then it just all falls apart by really no fault of your own, other than, you know, like, it's almost like you get hired as somebody comes into your restaurant and you're a sushi chef, right? You're the best sushi chef the world has ever seen. And they're like, oh my God, you make really good sushi. I want you to come work in my restaurant, right? And you go to their restaurant and it's an Italian restaurant. And then you're constantly like chastised because like, oh, why can't you make my fucking Panarosa, bitch, because I make sushi. You know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck did you hire me? So that's like essentially what happens. And particularly radical Black women, because that's the thing about misogynoir in particular, is that it doesn't punish all women all the time. It punishes the women who step out of line, right? And the women who got too much of a voice, too much shit to say, they notice too much, they think too much, they know too much, they've seen too much. And those are oftentimes the ones who are kind of like hung at the stake or burned at the stake, if you will. Sorry to use the euphemism, but it's a lot of it's kind of unfortunate because me being a con runner and being behind that curtain has given me a lot of different perspective in terms of like how I move. And the community, and I don't want to make it seem like it's this terrible, shiesty ass place, you know, but like you said, it's a microcosm of the real world. I've met people who are like some of my best friends, and I met people who, like, if I wouldn't spit on them if they were on fire. But you know, and like I said, it always hurts more coming from your own, because you're so often sold this dream of, hey, we're all blurs, we're all in this together. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's come together. And you know me, like, that's my jam. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all, we see where I'm at. Like, that's how I roll. And for you to like take that and not only exploit it for personal, professional, and monetary gain, but then to like have your name dragged through the mud, to have your contributions erased. You know what I'm saying? The people who don't know don't have no fucking clue, and the people who do know don't say nothing because they just want to keep the peace, and that's problematic within itself. You know what I'm saying? So there's just so much at play here, and I think that the one thing that I really want to take people to take away from my fucking way too long ass rant, and I apologize, is that the world will not triumph. The world will not succumb to the triumph of evil, but rather the triumph of evil will supersede because good men do nothing, you know. And I really hope that people receive that, like, inaction is also action, and you know, we're all just one person, but at the same time, the community really is what you make it, and it's on you to like use your voice, use your platform, use your power to speak up and speak out when you see people being mistreated.
Well, other than CC dropping these like amazing quotes that we got to follow up with, but one thing I was about to say to what Shinobi was talking about, mainly about like the black gatekeeping within ourselves. The picture with you, Jay Sutton, Beautiful Diz, and Kai when you guys did the X-Men group.
I was
And
there.
I had made a meme of that, you know, and I was just like, when you say black women don't cosplay, maybe the black women you know. And it was like thousands of like just, and it was sad because it was on there like, oh, they don't really like X-Men. They just doing this for money, and just like, it was just like really disheartening because I'm like, yo, I know each one of them individually. All of them are nerds. They're not fake nerds. They're not just models that decided to like throw this on, you know, like they actually love X-Men. They love nerd shit. But you couldn't tell those dudes nothing, man. They were on my comment section like, nah, that girl just a model and da da da. So it was just
They
real.
say we got paid to be there. I wish I got paid to be at Dragon Con, bitch. You know how much money I spent at Dragon Con? You know how much?
Okay, I just wanted to add on to that. Yeah, because you got me hot right now. That part. Yeah, you know, of course, there's a lot of people, just because you're female or whatever they identify you as, they want to take away the ability that you may have or the experience that you may have with a certain fandom and what your knowledge is because of what you look like. It's ridiculous. It's them projecting, them feeling like, okay, let me not get too deep because I can get real mean sometimes. I'm trying to keep it cute on here.
No, get that. Put them in the dirt. Dig that shovel. Put them in the dirt.
I'm a chill. But no, really, like I feel like a lot of people want to project them feeling like somebody for liking the thing that they like. And so when they see somebody else doing it, it's like, let me try to peg you down a little bit so I can feel better about my identity and shit on everything that you're doing. But to your point, Venture, even if somebody is doing it for the money, why are you concerned? What's the issue? This is also a business. So you have to understand that not everybody that's doing every cosplay that I do, I don't know every single freaking fact about the anime or the movie or the comic. Maybe I just resonate with this character. Maybe I just like the way that the character looks. And you want to quiz me on what was the first time that this character exposed this power and what year was it and what was the name of the artist that drew the fucking manga panel. It's like, bro.
And the artist,
bro, you're tripping right now. But I'm gonna calm down because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
But speaking on that, it, like, me personally, it goes deeper because I grew up. I went to like all black high schools, middle schools, and you know, growing up in an all black school, not everyone likes anime, cartoons, and whatnot. So it's like, okay, where are my nerd people at? And the only people that like nerd shit were the guys, and they basically gatekept me. So whenever I wanted to play like Yu-Gi-Oh or at least learn, they're like, nah, you don't fit in here. Go somewhere else. I was into anime. I wanted to talk about it. I had no one to talk about it to but my brother. But they're like, oh, name 5 top anime. And I'm like, but let me stop. But it just like it stems from like that kind of environment where back in the day, let's say like 90s or like early 2000s, nerd shit wasn't cool or whatever, and now it's like a trend. So when I wanted to be part of that community back then, y'all gatekept me. So now y'all judge me now that I'm like fully into it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a lot of guys. They're just like super ignorant to knowing that there are women nerds even back then. Because it's like if you think about like, why do you think these games like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter have women characters? You know, that's to appeal to the women audience. You know, that's why they're creating these characters, not for us. You know, maybe the way that they're dressed sometimes, but it's not really for men. They're not expecting me to get on Mortal Kombat and play as Katana. No, they're expecting women to get on there and play as that. Why are there animes like Sailor Moon around? Sailor Moon was around in my household because my sister was watching that before we even put on Dragon Ball. So it's like women have always been into nerd stuff as far back as I remember, you know. So for me, I never understood it back when a lot of dudes were like gatekeep online, because I'm like, you gotta know that women are into this stuff. Like there's tons of animes that are definitely not for dudes that are out there. So I don't get the confusion. And even the ones that, you know, might be like heavily testosterone driven, like Dragon Ball, you still got a lot of women that are into Dragon Ball, you know. So it's just like I never really got why a lot of people think that women are into anime or nerd stuff, you know, because it just would make no sense.
It's almost like they don't think that we like storytelling and animation and all of these things that make up fantasy and all of these things. It blows my mind when people are like, you like Dragon Ball? You like Naruto? And it's like, what would make you think that I wouldn't be attracted to these things because maybe you feel like they're for you. You feel like they were written for you. Maybe that's a part of it, but I don't know. It does seem quite ignorant when people look at women and they feel like they can't connect with these fandoms, when really women, I feel like more than anybody love a good story. We're more storyline driven, and so it's not hard for us to relate or see the humanity in different stories, or the motivation in different stories that come out. I think it has a lot to do with the persecution of the feminine. And so, you know what I mean? It's like, well, women, you guys like that women stuff. Go watch The Notebook.
Yeah, that's like peak objectification. Like you can't have an identity and a personality of your own. You're this female, you're this vagina possessed creature who is pre-programmed with Barbies and whatever the fuck else we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I've had the same thing happen to me with football, where I had guys, you know, like, what's first and 10? What's the line of scrimmage? They're like,
interesting. And this is you'll find a lot of women, especially to your point, Film Chronicles, you'll find a lot of women talk about K-dramas, and a lot of men will think like, oh, K-dramas are geared for women, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as a dude watches a K-drama, they're addicted. Because I'll see it post, they'll post another girl going and da-da-da-da. But it's like, yo, it took a woman to really talk about K-dramas for dudes to even like remotely look, and then once we watch it, we like that storytelling and stuff. So it's just, I don't know, it's weird how these distinctions and how people try to divide the fandoms.
Yeah, they try to gender it. I feel the same way about the anime Nana. I have been watching Nana since I was like 13 years old. I see you, Fawn. It's one of the best of all time. We know this. But yeah, it's the same thing with the anime Nana. I have been preaching about how awesome and well written Nana is for years. I've had a lot of followers of mine who are predominantly men tell me, listen, I took your advice, I watched it. It is one of the best animes I've ever watched. Because again, you want to label things as that's for women, that's for men. And really, it's just a good storyline that anybody can relate to or have some sort of enjoyment out of. So agreed. I'm sick of the gendering of every show and manga that comes out. It's ridiculous.
Facts. And not for nothing, not that we have anything to prove, but like Black women are really like shaping the community. You have Chaka Cumberbatch, who started 28 Days of Black Cosplay, which is everybody's like using that to get followers and stuff. You have the Black Comic Fest in Harlem, which was founded by Dr. Khadija Tubman, who used to be an intern here, by the way. And that's like the longest running Black comic anything that I can think of. Blurred City by Clarissa Clay. That's based in New York. You know what I'm saying? Urban Anime Lounge. Half their founders are Black women. You know what I mean? So Black women are really like out here kicking ass in the community, and it's just like we're met with gatekeeping and hypersexualization, all these various things at every turn. So that's like, it's like, that's how you know we're really passionate about it, because in spite of all these things we have to deal with on a regular basis, we're still here, you know, we're still finding joy in it, you know?
So my girlfriend just made it in the comments, and she was talking about how a lot of us, when we first started watching anime, it was hard to get access to different animes because either you had to go get them from VHS, or if they weren't on Konami, you risk getting viruses trying to download it and stuff. So yeah, it was a struggle, but
This shit right here.
yeah.
Is anybody else from the DMV? Do y'all remember a store called Dream Wizard? There's a store called Dream Wizard in Bethesda, Maryland, and that was like the one anime store anywhere like in the region. I would get like Sailor Moon posters. I got my Pokemon cards from there.
I know if you go to certain record stores like Fi, or if you would go to like if you go to Blockbuster, they would have like certain sections that were specifically tailored to anime.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes you gotta wait for them to get new ones. It'll be like 10, and if they do get new ones, you don't know what the anime is. You just know it's like anime style, but you don't know anything about it. It's a risk to rent it. You're like, oh, do I want to rent it? In some places, you have to actually buy it. So it's like, oh man, I want to buy about this anime that I don't know about, but it's the only thing you have access to. So back then, it was the real struggle.
We was weebs.
And I just got a second on that. The photo that Venture Bro was talking about, that's iconic. That photo with you for, that's just iconic. I don't know how anyone could have anything.
It was not even planned. Like me and Jay planned it, right? Because she just so happened to have her Gambit and I had my Jubilee. So like, all right, we'll do that together. And then Crystal was there, and then Kai was there, and it's one of those moments.
Right. Kai had Storm, and Crystal had Domino. So it just it was perfect.
And in your story, when CC, you were telling the story, it made me think about one specific person who I'm not going to name. Talking about people not giving credit, or people helping them build them, and but it's a black male that I'm thinking about, but that you made me think about. But I'm not gonna put him on blast.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of people we could put on. I mean, it's a lot of people who you could theoretically put on blast. I mean, some people I could put on blast. It might be some of y'all favorites. I mean, there are people who
blast.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're
not doing that. Right?
I think that
it looks like we've all had our experiences with, you know, I'm sure people have had experiences with us as well. So let's keep it cute.
No, I wasn't never gonna not keep it cute, but I think that ultimately, like the crux of it all is just to watch how you move and to make sure that you're looking out for your neighbor. You know what I mean? regardless, because the players they always change. You know, like just when Trump's out of office, right? They're gonna get a new motherfucker who has the same narratives and the same. You know, it's just a different body. So it's just you have to know what signs to look for, and the players might change, but the notions or the issues will stay the same. You know,
Players might change, but the game same.
pretty much.
So I had a question. So with kind of like now basically becoming a nerd or blurred is now like it's basically mainstream now. Do you think that change kind of came with like Black Panther, the movie, around that time?
It came. I'll tell you what it came. It came with Iron Man 1. That's when it came. As soon as the MCU kicked off, that's when all of a sudden being a nerd became really popular. Like if you look at it, it took Iron Man 1, and that's all of a sudden when you had the like regular nerds start coming out the closet. Then all of a sudden when it dropped like Thor and Captain America, the first ones, that's when all of a sudden like all these people like start looking at comics and everything. Then like when the Marvel got to phase 2, when the first Avengers shot, that's when everybody, even people who weren't like comic nerds, everybody was seeing it at that point.
I honestly didn't notice until I saw the prices for cons go up. That's when I started to realize that wow, like comics and anime have been mainstream. So that was like my indicator, because a $75 weekend pass is now like $150 because now it's more popular. Now more people are starting to go. So when it started affecting my pockets personally, that's when I noticed.
What I noticed was when I saw these celebrities trying to just drop random cosplays. It's like, oh, we're cosplaying now, okay. Besides, like their typical
Usher being Gojo.
You said what?
Usher doing Gojo.
That's real random.
Usher.
Also, Gojo, like
yeah, like Megan makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Yeah, she's been about that life since day one, so it just it goes with her brand.
Right.
Everybody else, well,
right.
But everybody else, come on.
Right, like when T-Pain popped out at Dragon Con, I was like, what? But he was like Dragon Con running around, you know.
That was the funniest thing. My mom was like, yo, did you see T-Pain? And I was like, oh, somebody was cosplaying as T-Pain?
Yeah, that's
and then I saw the picture and I was like, oh no, that was like T-Pain.
Right, cosplaying Leroy. Shoot.
That was crazy. Somebody was cosplaying Bruno Mars. He did an excellent job at Dragon Con.
Oh, wait, my guy.
Who did he cosplay?
My guy Shauna. No, he's from Hawaii. He's from Hawaii, but he's dead on. Everything he does is like either Bruno Mars or a mashup. So if he's like Captain America, he's like Captain America with Bruno Mars. It's just spot on.
Nice, that's cute. I'm here for this. We need Bruno Mars to come back and take Taylor Swift off her throne, child. Off her Elvis Presley throne.
Look, I'm gonna say this. There was nothing more like maddening than seeing the think pieces about Taylor Swift and swag surfing and Kansas City's celebration. I was like, it is not their thing. Like, who's in your writer's room? And also
came up with making fades popular.
Oh no, they said give me the Travis Kelce. I'm like, bro, stop, please. Even but in all with respect, Travis Kelce said, yo, do not y'all trying to get me killed, especially during Black History Month. He came out and said, like, don't do that to me. That is not my I do not go to the barbershop and ask for a Travis Kelce. I didn't know.
He gonna leave with a setup.
Can't have nothing. All right, let's talk about increasing engagement on social media. Like, what you got? Tips, tricks
with this algorithm?
Honestly, I just post whatever I want to post.
That was real.
You gotta do reels. The reels could only be 8 seconds. Like
not 8 seconds, and you better cut to the chase, honey.
Immediately.
I'll be doing productions.
Picture and keep it moving. Now it's like, no, you gotta drop a picture. You gotta drop a second picture. You gotta do a reel with it. It's like, okay.
Right. Yeah, mixed media. They want to see mixed media now. So like you can't post too many photos, but then you can't, I mean, you could do they tend to like reels, it seems, because they want to compete with TikTok.
But the
So
reels barely do any engagement unless I mean I see a lot of people post reels and some of them do well. I don't know, maybe I gotta brush up on my reel game, but I feel like it's really hit or miss. Whether you're doing a photo post or a reel post, getting that formula right, getting that timing right, Instagram is just not what it used to be. So
yeah, and not for nothing, but like you have to really capitalize on trends in the moment. Like if there's a trending song, you gotta pick it up before it like gets too much attention. Like it's crazy. It's like it's almost like the conspiracy theorists. You have all these lines everywhere. That's how it feels now. Managing social media.
One thing,
that episode Always Sunny.
So TikTok, it really wants you to post like 4 to 6 videos a day. But I was explaining to some of my friends on TikTok who got like 100,000 followers and stuff like that on there. And I explained to them, like, that's not how my creativity works.
Yeah,
My
same.
come to me. So it's like trying to like force creativity every day. That much creativity. I was like, that's why people on TikTok, I feel, copy each other so much.
Yeah,
because
facts.
create new original ideas every day. It's not going to work. Not every single day. So that's when they find these trends and they just leech onto them and they end up copying the work. So then when it comes to like having their own original work, they can't really speak for too much,
Yeah, but to this point, this person's comment, some people like I post my stuff does better when I post early in the morning. So I think it really depends on like who your followers are and that type of thing. And honestly, like I wouldn't even get too hung up. Of course, a platform is something that you can grow and that you can leverage. But really, engagement is the name of the game when it comes to social media. And that's why people like reach out to me, even though I don't have like the biggest platform. My followers like talk, they comment, they do all the things. So like people are interested in working with me because of that engagement, but also don't underestimate the power of networking and connecting. And as an entrepreneur, you learn to kind of always have a part of that brain turned on, even if it's just a little bit. But when you're out like networking with people, tell them your Instagram, like share, like those are really the ways that you connect with people. Even comic creators, when they're selling their stuff at these conventions, they make far more money selling their stuff at these cons than they do on their websites and stuff, because you have an opportunity to like physically connect with somebody. And the pandemic showed that there's no replacement for that, no matter how good a Zoom room can be,
Yeah. And like when you post the IG at night, that's like really contingent upon like who your platform is, who you're following, who follows you, and when like they're online. So I've got a lot of followers from me that are from Brazil. So when I've dropped cosplays at like 2 a.m. in the morning, I've had people tell me like, oh, that's way too early. But I've had cosplays like when I cosplayed my Uncle Iroh, I dropped that at 3 a.m. But my following I have, I've seen through my analytics, I have a lot of followers that are in South America. So when I do drop stuff, you will see it, So, you will see it go like viral at like 3 a.m. Some things go viral at night, some things go viral in the day. It's really dependent upon like how you're following, like kind of sees your stuff. And then of course, algorithm plays a huge part, not gonna take away from that. But really to be frank, I've seen stuff that I did not think would go viral from like friends or even from some of my posts when I posted certain reels. Like I always thought people were like, oh, your reels are way too long. But one time I did like a 5-minute reel talking about that Miles Morales Thor comic book. That one had 20,000 likes. It had like over 1 million views. And I was just like, man, this is like a super long reel. I didn't think it was gonna really do too well. So it's a kind of not a certain science to it exactly. You can try to follow trends and things like that, but if they don't work, just be prepared to try something else.
That was a really long reel, but that was I remember that reel because I had my own vent. I was venting about that whole issue because I was excited because I had done my own matchup before. I was like, oh, I want to see this, and then I read and
Yeah.
you know, by Odin's fade. Talking about fades.
Right. I was like, man,
who approved this? Who approved this? This is not the culture move.
you're spray painting the Rainbow Bridge and stuff. I'm like, when does Miles do that? I'm like, this regular Miles doesn't even do.
Regular.
I'm like,
No, I was heated. I was like, nah, this is look. I don't know who wrote it. I was like deep dive. I was like, who wrote this? Let me find out what white person wrote this, because I was like, this is not what it is. It's not this. It just wasn't. It just didn't represent for me the culture. So. Okay, is there any other topics that we haven't hit yet that you want to discuss?
oh, I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
Sorry. This topic just popped up in my head. Is there such thing as white face when it comes to cosplays?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm just speaking.
I didn't catch that. What did you say?
White face. Is there such a thing as white face? I mean, technically, I guess if you want to call it that, but it doesn't have the same historical or racist connotation as blackface does. Like minstrelsy, that's a whole thing. Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, they were all minstrel characters that got basically they had to clean them up, you know, so that they didn't look. That's why Mickey Mouse is black with white gloves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway,
When you say white face, are you talking about like black people painting their face white?
yeah, like white chicks.
Not exactly like that. Like, I did a Sedusa cosplay a couple of weeks ago, and you know how Sedusa from Powerpuff Girls, she has like pale skin. So I'm like, should I put it the like get the colored paint, put it on my skin? Is that considered?
So I would say no. I would say you'd be fine doing that, because literally, I mean, even if whiteface was a thing, because you're not trying to be a Caucasian person. You're not trying to paint your skin white to be Caucasian.
Right.
That character is white like my wall. That's not a Caucasian person.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's almost like being a blue or a purple person. I see that with black cosplayers who cosplay Raven from Teen Titans. She has gray skin or whitish gray skin, and you know, I thought about that I'm like, but no, it's just almost like an alien color skin. I feel like if you're trying to be Caucasian, then that could be considered whiteface. But like Cece said, there's no historical connotation to oppression with that. But yeah, even still, when it comes to characters like that, I'd rather just be the brown version. You know, if I'm gonna be Raven, I'm brown. You know, because I don't even want to cross that barrier of me trying to be white or gray. But that's just me personally. Other cosplayers, they're fine with it. But yeah, I think it's about the intention of the ethnicity of the character that you're trying to portray.
Right. Because I came across some comments on another cosplayer where I think she cosplayed as Raven too, but she had the pale skin as well. And I saw like a few comments that said, "Oh, this is whiteface. If y'all can do it, then how come we can't like tan our skins to meet another like black character or whatever?"
First of all, I just heard your accent come out, and that was adorable. Your New York accent.
Really?
Second of all, let me just say, when I cosplayed Sleeping Beauty, shout out to me and Milan because she was Maleficent. I cosplayed Sleeping Beauty, and I ain't do nothing to my skin. Matter of fact, it was a springtime, so if anything, I had a little tanny tan. You know what I'm saying? I just had a blonde wig, custom wig. Shout out to Aku-chan Arts who made my wig. And I got accused of whiteface because of that. Like people was accusing me, and I'm just like, and I made it the funny out of it. I took a White Chicks scene from White Chicks, and I put a picture of me next to the pictures of the girls from White Chicks, like hold my poodle. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, I'm whiteface, sure.
What you should have told them is take a picture of Tara and then put it next to Raven and be like, do you see the difference between an actual white person and someone that's like clearly a different type of being with pale skin? Because that's literally not how white people look. They look like the character Tara, you know. And also, Femme Chronicles, I feel sorry that you feel like you can't cosplay something because of their expectations, because that's them dictating what you do. And
Right.
not the basis of cosplay. You should be able to enjoy. If you have a outlook on a character that you want to do, you should be able to do it. When white people put the line in blackface, first of all, we've got hundreds of years of reasons why you shouldn't blackface, period. So that's even outside of cosplay that we already have that. Then on top of that, it's been so offensively used that you all know, they know it's offensive. So for them to blatantly do it after it's already been known to everyone that it's offensive is a problem. Then they're trying to just put on a black person's skin. That's a problem. It's like, yo, you shouldn't be trying to cosplay a black person, you know, because you're not going to ever experience it like a black person. You're not going to be called nigger for cosplaying a black person.
Right,
So,
right.
You wouldn't be like, hey, that's wrong, that's racist, without thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a clear difference. So I would hope that you and whoever's watching do not let
don't let people stop you from no. And for me, it's not even about the judgment of whether I'm going to be accused of whiteface. I don't care what people have to say about my cosplays. You know, they say stuff all the time. It's more so about what I'm comfortable with. I think I would rather represent myself as a brown woman cosplaying, let's say Raven, rather than doing the grayish white makeup. And that's just, and again, I said that's me personally, because when it comes to like the body paint and the makeup, for me, the white just looks cracked out. You know, when I put white on my face, I'm like, what is this? Like, this is too white. It starts to dry, and then maybe I'm just bad with body paint, but it starts to dry and I just look like a crackhead. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna be me and I'm gonna be Raven, and that's gonna be the end of it. So that's more of where my perspective is. I would rather just represent my own skin tone in some of these characters that require that, because when I put it on, it looks like crap. But I totally understand what you mean. There should be no inhibition for anybody who's a person of color to cosplay non-human skin tones and feel comfortable in that and not feel like they're going to be attacked for it. So I definitely agree on that point.
So essentially, she just don't want to look like Ashley Larry. That's
wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Oh, okay. Christy wants to know some best practices and tips for newbies.
Don't care what anybody thinks, Christy. Like, for real. Like Shakir and Venture Bros were saying, like, when I first started cosplaying, I kind of had a lot of those inhibitions, like, oh, I'll wait till I have more money. I'll wait till I'm in better shape or whatever. And my weight fluctuates a lot. So, like, sometimes I'm a size 4, sometimes I'm a size 8, 10, sometimes I'm somewhere in between. You know, I've never had the experiences where, like, some people where it's like a life share, but I've experienced it enough where people treat me differently, you know, based on what size I am. But I will just say that, like, just do you, and don't be afraid to, like, make it your own. You know, like, you don't have to cosplay canon. You ain't got to put a straight wig on, or you could put a straight wig on and look good like them Chronicles, you know, but just do you, and try not to get too hung up on what other people think, and like who your tribe is. Like, finding your tribe is going to be really crucial. Like, just having really good people in your corner who mean well by you, for sure.
Yes.
What's up?
What's up, Roy?
I agree with what you said. There are different ways to get into cosplay. For me, I started doing like a casual cosplay. I was wearing like a cheerleader skirt one day to mimic like the Glovers from what's that movie called? Bring It On. Because like cheerleaders, that's like, it's not really too loud. It's kind of casual, you know. You could start off by like wearing a blue dress or a bow like Kiki's from Kiki's Delivery Service, something like that. And then just work your way into it. Go all out. Or you could just go all out for your first cosplay.
And then it depends on what you want to start doing. If you want to start cosplaying for the fun of it. What I've noticed is a lot of people, especially when they ask for advice, and not saying that you're doing that, is they want to be this like mega cosplayer. Like that's their ambition, you know. And I try to tell them like, you know, you really want to manage your expectations, because I've seen extremely good crafters never get a big following. Like they won competitions, never get a big following. I've seen really beautiful people who look like model beautiful, never get following. So it you have to manage why you want to cosplay. If you want to have cosplay for the fandom, that's easy, because you literally can go on Amazon, go on Etsy, get a cosplay or make it yourself, you know, and just have fun with it. And then gradually, once you do that your first try, then you'll learn things too, so you can make it better, you know. But that's, like I said, it's all dependent on reasoning for wanting to cosplay.
And I think I speak for everybody here when I say, like, when I first started doing this, I didn't foresee any of this. I didn't foresee owning my own convention. I didn't foresee a lot of that stuff. And I just wanted to do something that I always wanted to do, and just went for it, you know, just decided to take that leap of faith. And now I'm here, you know, so you just never know where that stuff will lead. But when you go into something organically because you genuinely love it, that's when you manifest all these wonderful things, you know, in your life.
Because I know people like, I love cosplaying in groups. That's the most funnest part of cosplay to me, is cosplaying with groups. And the reason is because I like the congregation. I like to do it together. I like all of us doing this fandom, you know. I enjoyed that aspect the most. So, you know, that's why, another reason why, like I said, I'll work with anybody as long as they have good quality and they're a cool person. Like, it's not hard for me to work with them. You know, I know some people where they're like, look, you know, you're starting off, so you got to go to this con. You got to make sure you're at this con because all the famous cosplayers go be there. You're going to make sure you cosplay only these popular animes. And it's just like, that's just like really restricting. And I don't think anybody who's just trying to have fun with it is gonna have that much fun if that's the only reasons they're doing it.
So basically, there's no exact guide on like how to start.
Yeah, there's no rubric. There's no. It really has to be about your intention and what you want to get out of it. And I think, you know, I don't want to speak for everybody here, but from what other people said, I have to agree. When I first started cosplaying, I didn't know that it was going to take off the way that it did, in terms of me being able to monetize it off of it and gain a following off of it. It was just about the pure love of the craft and the fandoms that I was cosplaying out of. But you know, you just have to be intentional about it. And if you're not quite intentional about it, just do it for fun and have a good time. My personal advice would be to protect your energy and to keep your boundaries up. Just out of my personal experience, I think CC, I'm not sure if CC or Fawn was the one who mentioned this, but in regards to I think it was CC, coming into this community and having those rose-colored glasses on, thinking that everything was just going to be peachy, keen, and sweet. We would like to believe that, but again, the reality is that you can make yourself vulnerable if you allow any type of energy and any type of person to try to, you know, talk to you about your cosplay, collaborate with you, you know, all of these different things. Just protect your energy and keep your team and your people close to you, because again, feeling so connected to everyone because of the love of anime and the love of Marvel or Star Wars or whatever it is, it can leave you open to people who are bad faith actors that want to cause harm to you. So my whole thing is to know who your people are, stick with that, do what you love, and whatever comes of it, but protect your energy, and be kind to everyone. Be kind to everyone, but also keep your boundaries up and stand firm on that. Because if you allow your boundaries to fall by the wayside and everybody that's in the community can just come in and talk to you and you're going to have a lot of issues. So that's the best advice that I can give based on my personal experiences.
I just want to piggyback a little bit off that and say that as you grow and as you become more popular, like, because I just think that that's something that comes natural to people when they tap into their passions, to be mindful of people who are going to fetishize you and want to attach themselves to you simply because you're liked by other people. You know what I'm saying? There are people who are going to pretend or think that they have a romantic interest in you. There are people who are going to want to do business with you, and they don't even like you half the time, child. They just like you because everybody else likes you, and they get to say, well, I slept with CC the Geek. Why, you know, this, that, and the third. And it's unfortunate that you have to be mindful of that and cognizant of that, but it does happen. But at the same time, like you said, it's a gift. It's a give and take, because some of my best friends, you know, are people in this community. Some of my mentors are people in this community, and I have learned a shit ton of skills that I transfer to this job every day, running my business and running my brand. They got me doing mobilization and engagement because they know that that's something that I'm good at. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of gifts, and no community is immune. The Greek community, the HBCU, every community's got its bullshit. I do think that this community, as a sociology, somebody who studies sociology and history, this is some of the most fascinating, wild shit that I've ever witnessed. The cosplay is it really should be a case study. It really should. But outside of that, you know, just do you and be yourself, and don't let nobody make you feel less than.
All great advice.
He said his first con last year, went in regular clothes, enjoyed it. Yeah, you can go in regular clothes. Usually, I don't do cosplays all 3 days. I'll do cosplays like Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday I'll be in regular clothes. You know, because I just like to, you know, I want one day where I'm just like everybody else, chilling. And you said Crocodile is your first cosplay. Crocodile, hey, that's a real cool character, you know, from One Piece. I actually thought about doing Crocodile before.
Okay, one of us. Anybody want to tap into anything else?
Why don't we talk about cosplayers working together? Because I know we talked about the popularity thing, how popular cosplayers like to work with other popular cosplayers, but I'm talking about Black cosplayers liking to work together, period. So because I've seen in a lot of especially the Caucasian cosplay community, they'll work together like it's nothing, you know, real quick on a project or a new cosplay, and they do it quick because the show will just drop that same week, and then boom, they're dropping a huge collab with all these big cosplayers. Now I just feel like sometimes in the Black cosplay community, we don't work together as quickly. Sometimes egos play a huge part, or even I don't know what the disconnect is, but for some reason there's a lot of flaking when people will be like, yeah, I'll be there, this Thursday, okay, I'll go, and then they don't show up, you know. So it's just I feel like that's a kind of a struggle that we go through on our side.
I was like, who wants to go first? Because I could say something.
I see you, Chris, and CC, and I'm like, who's going first?
I feel like there's multiple things here that are at play. And part of it is access and resources, right? And a disparity of access and resources. Let's face it, by and large, white people got more disposable income than we got, you know? So that's a thing. Also, you know, circumstances or whatever. And I don't know. I think that a lot of people are just afraid of letting people down a lot of times, and they'll commit to certain things without really understanding all that they have on their plate. And just because of that fear of disappointing whoever it is, they're not being exactly upfront, but then that makes it snowball into a larger issue because there's lack of communication, lack of effective communication, and all that type of stuff. So you just got to really kind of own what you're capable of doing. And maybe in January you were able to do this thing, but now January 1st you were able to do this thing, but now it's January 15th and some things happened and you might not be able to do it. But it's still on you to communicate to that person yo, you might want to find somebody else, or can we push the date back, or whatever the case may be. So it's a two-way street. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like it's a two-way street to an extent, because
Yeah, for sure.
once you're in adult territory, it's kind of, and maybe I'm being too harsh with this, but when you're in adult territory, it's like, your limitations, and if there is a limitation, you at least tell the person like, hey, I can't make it. Hey, right now it's on the
Agreed.
budget.
Yeah.
Katsucon next week. I love Katsucon. It's one of my favorite cons. I might not be going to Katsucon because financially it would just be like a huge hit right now, because I got other business ventures I'm doing. So like, I would say that if there was an expectation of me to be there, I would say like, hey, I know we have this collab going. I probably can't go. It's nothing to say anything like that, but to just completely ghost somebody and then be like, oh man, like, it just wasn't a good time for me. It's like, it's like Feminist Chronicles was saying earlier. This is a business aspect. You ghost somebody and waste somebody's time like that. There's a photographer involved. There's a space involved. So now all this time was wasted, and because you didn't want to let me down, you ghosted me and let me waste money. Like it's kind of like, it's kind of like that aspect, and that's what I don't like about it. But I do understand things happen. I just wish there was a communication element, or at least a respect element to it, and people just kept it real.
Right. I mean, for sure. Even as somebody who runs a convention, it's like I've had people not show up to panels or whatever the case may be. But, like when we did our event in 2022, that was fresh after the pandemic. So some people, like I knew in advance that they wasn't going to make it. And some people last minute got COVID and couldn't come. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but at the same, but then there were some people who no call, no show, and it's like, oh, all right, well, that'll be your last panel. You know what I'm saying? So, you learn everything is circumstantial, and you learn to extend grace, or and even if it's like just a flat out disappointment, you might not necessarily trip or nothing, but you're like, okay, now I know you've shown me, how you move, and now I know to like take certain precautions next time.
Right.
Yeah, I think honestly, I don't work with a lot of new people in general. That's I just know the people I depend on, know the people that I have a connection with, that I can count on. And every once in a while, yeah, I mean, I have a couple new projects that I'm like actual projects that I'm working on, but that I've had to work with new people. I guess it really just depends. Like some people give you that respect and be like, oh man, I'm sorry. I mean, I've had some last minute, like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make this. But overall, like I feel like my collabs have been worked out pretty well, whether it's getting together for panels at cons. That's always gone well. Like Asia, we've collabed a couple times. Hey, I got an idea. You want to get in on this? I'd say I just really try to tap into people that I vibe with, you know what I mean? And normally it's reciprocated.
Hey, man, you worked together for the first time.
That was it. Yeah. You just wanted to have me on the ground. You know,
these kids going. Sure, they seen us out there right after the panel, taking pictures, doing the audio manager, and hey, because you could vibe when you work with somebody. When you work with somebody and you can tell they're good people, you tell the vibe is good, then just hey. And I could tell that from you. As soon as we worked together on the panel, we was bouncing off each other, and it's like, okay, cool, I could work with this man. You know what I'm saying? He's down, got ideas, he's down to do the stuff. Let's go.
No, it was dope. It was dope.
I'm gonna piggyback on what you said.
Oh,
sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Asia. Get on
it. I do tend to work with the same people. It's a comfortability level, and we have rapport already. And I know their lifestyle and their schedules is comfortable for me. And I know when sometimes life gets too busy, and I feel like they're not going to make something or be able to meet a deadline. I can just always speak up like, hey, I know you have this going on in your life. It's totally okay. We can reschedule, but I'm trying to do better. Try to reach out and work with new people, but it's so hard because I don't want to be let down. I don't want to be having my hopes up, and the cosplay or the collaboration or whatever we're going to do, a panel, is not going to work out because I always want to feel like when I work with somebody, I want to put them on my roster. I don't want to count on them and keep working with them. I don't like to just work with somebody and just leave them in the dust, but I like continuous work. That's how I get to know somebody and learn something new about them is through these collaborations. But uh, I'm going to try to do better this year.
One of the questions said, has anybody here been to DreamCon? If so, I was curious about what it's like for you personally, because my friend told me she thinks me and her should go next year. DreamCon is, CC was there, Asia was there, we had a cosplay group, Shinobi was there.
I want
So
to know what the mixed feedback is. I want the I want the
I
tea.
know the tea, but I'm gonna see what you're going to say.
I loved it though. I thought it was lit.
It was cool. I think the first day was just kind of like the lines were so long.
See, I kind of missed that.
Yeah, so
got
I
there.
just waited for like I just chilled with the homies and I was like, I'm just gonna wait.
Nerds, no fights broke out. I felt like it was a great time. Nobody got no rapes or nothing. I feel like the actual con itself went really well for 22,000 people.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they quadrupled their numbers in the span of a year. Like, that's unheard of. That's unheard. They went from like 5,000-6,000 to 22,000 niggas. Like, that's a lot of niggas. And then staffing, like it's a lot. That's a huge jump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good problem to have. But I can't imagine going from like you telling me that I just had 5, now I'm gonna have 20,000, and they capped it at that. Like they would have had more, you know.
And maybe worse, they had a new venue too, so they had to learn
that too.
Yeah,
that too.
it was good. Overall, it was a blast. Like the parties were cool. You know what I mean. Some of the panels, I created some relationships there, some business relationships. So it was definitely. I definitely recommend going.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good time, you know. Like you said, the after parties was jumping. I mean,
historical income.
on the other side, there were some people who felt that the con should have had more people working there. It should have had more workers, and it should have. But like Cece said, numbers just jumped up so quickly. I don't think they were really aware of people were actually going to be there. But this year, they did say that they were going to increase the staffing, so there were no issues. Because some people did say they like had to wait in the line for hours. Personally, I've been to big venues, so there's always a door you can get in. It's not. That's exactly what we do.
Dragon Con's line for badges is be wrapped around the block, honey, and it's like a big block. It's like an avenue block if you're a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I mean, there were things that they're going to work on, but I mean they've been real good sports about taking the criticism to work on.
Yeah. Yeah, but don't be holding black cons to higher standards than the other cons. That's all I'm saying.
All right, so what's y'all favorite cons? What's everybody's favorite con?
HBCU con.
I was waiting on that answer.
I liked DreamCon too. DreamCon was a vibe. A lot of HBCU nerds down there. A lot. So I like that. MagFest is actually a banger for me. It's grown and sexy. It's not cosplay heavy, but the cosplayers bring their A game, and you get to game for 24 hours a day on any type of console you want. It's crazy. Katsu, even though it's like a giant cosplay competition, it's still lit. And it's during Black History Month, and we have our meetup.
Katsu's fun regardless.
Yeah. It's gonna sound vain, but like legit, it's something so sacred and creating your own space. And even when I'm doing events at other cons, like those are my favorite places to be. So, and I'm excited about ChromaCon this year too. Brittany's really cool.
Well, DreamCon, that's a good one. Dragon Con, that was my first con, so Dragon Con is always, one of the top for me. KatsuCon's real fun. AC and C2E2 out of Chicago is real fun. MegaCon down in Florida is real fun.
Yeah, I went to Ranger Stop and Pop, which is small, but it's cool. That's owned by two of the former Yellow Rangers, Karen Ashley
Yeah.
and Nakia Burris. So it's Black woman owned. It's in Atlanta, and they're associated with the Ranger Stop Convention in Orlando, I think. I'm trying to think. New York Comic Con was cool. It's just overwhelming. But I heard it wasn't nowhere near as overwhelming as Anime NYC.
Anime NYC wasn't really that overwhelming.
I was about to say, I don't, no, not this
What was
year.
the con where they had like people on the escalators and they was packed like sardines?
You're talking about Anime Expo in LA.
Okay.
Anime Expo, that's one of my favorites right there.
It was fun though, but it was crazy.
Gridlock all up and through there, yeah.
Okay, my bad, Anime NYC. I don't want to put y'all.
They said hopefully Urban Nerd Con was one of the
Like rejecting her booth requests.
Well, I'm gonna say Dragon Con for me is home. It was my first con, so yeah.
You know, that's Atlanta's single largest revenue generator.
Yep.
Like the city of Atlanta.
Crazy. Like you just walking around downtown and you just see all these cosplayers. First time I went, I was like, yo, this is wild.
It is. And MomoCon is the second biggest now. They're lit.
I and finally go that this year.
I'm going again.
You going again? So I see you.
I'll be there. Hopefully. I don't know. We might throw a party.
Oh, you might throw a party.
Oh shit.
Dragon Con I always do the parties, but someone asked about MomoCon. We'll see. I gotta get my it's only if my DJ is Swaggy pulling up, then
Swaggy. That's what's up. Keep me posted on that. And we're having our meetup at Katsucon, the BlackSucon, 28 Days of Black Cosplay. That'll be Saturday from 4 to 5 at the fountain this time, y'all. We outgrew the gazebo. So we going to the fountain this year.
The gazebo was a good time last year though.
It was, but we're too big now, so we got to be at the fountain, which is cool because then when we do like the video interviews and highlights of y'all, we can easily go in between outside and inside.
Okay.
Yeah. And also going to have some dope stuff happening during AwesomeCon weekend with Plus Ultra Entertainment. That's my birthday weekend, so I'm finalizing the details for my birthday party. And yeah, lots of good stuff on the horizon. Y'all just stay tuned. I'm trying my best to bite my tongue, but lots of dope. And Urban Nerd Con, we're gonna be there turning that out. Venture Bros is also gonna be a guest, so stay tuned. I was just on the phone with Roy earlier about we gonna have a party. It's gonna be lit. So it's taking over the blackest event in ATL. So that's gonna be lit, and then lots of other dope stuff to announce soon, guys. So appreciate y'all.
How do y'all feel about the Black presence in like nerd movies and nerd culture? Like, like as far as Marvel movies, as far as like anime, how do you guys feel about the Black presence? Do you feel it's increased?
You mean like, okay.
Do you feel like it's racial swapping? How do you feel?
It's not. It's just I just want to see more than just being the best friend and aiding white people. We have our own stories. We have our own. You know what I mean? I'm just. If you think about it, think about it.
The meme created where it had like all these different heroes. Like it had Superman, it had Captain America, it had Iron Man. They're like all these superheroes got a Black best friend to keep them in check.
I need to see
that. Superman, he had the Black dude who was a colonel in the military. You got,
Iron Man.
Yeah. It's like it's always a Black best friend that keeps them in check.
The magical Negro.
The magical Negro.
Not magical token.
The magical help best friend.
Anime, that there is like a little bit of presence trying to creep up, but not enough, not protagonist level.
Now, I will say that the level of like the artistry, like from Mr. Popo, we've come a long way from Mr. Popo. We've come a long way. I'm just saying the artistry is much better, much more accurate.
Capone and Thomas Neverland will bring us right back.
Right. You're right.
It's definitely a pickaninny.
Right. It's okay, guys. He's the strongest man in the universe. Like, okay, thanks.
I'm like, why is he just like a slave?
Right.
So
Oh, somebody! I wish there was this is Dom's idea, by the way. I don't know if you heard this on the previous podcast, but this is Dom's idea, is to have a bus for cosplayers,
Like a cosplay tour. That'd be dope.
cosplay. Yeah,
A
that goes-
con tour. That's a lot of time off. You got that much PTO?
that's a good question.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Like, you see, look, I'm sitting at work. I'm gonna have to put my leave in. I mean, I got a lot, but I don't know if I got that much.
And that's kind of thought. So it was a domino because I was like, dang, a bus of cosplayers going to a con, how's that gonna smell? But if you think
Like
it's
how
real,
somebody works.
We have rules and regulations.
I feel like a black cosplay bus would smell good.
not at all. I don't know if it's because all black nerds, but hey, DreamCon did not smell.
It didn't.
So that's all I'm saying. Like,
Hey, that was that one dude that walking around was like deodorant.
I saw him.
That's hilarious. Doing the Lord's work.
I know this year there's going to be an anime cruise.
I heard about that.
I didn't know if you were going or not. I remember that when they created the group on Facebook, but I haven't looked into it since then.
Hmm.
I wonder how that's going to go. Because
yeah.
I'm meeting up in Florida and then going to.
I mean, there's been convention cruises before, but I think that one's tailored to specifically black people, the one you're talking about.
I see. Yeah, and the ones that they've had before are like super huge fandoms, like the Star Trek cruise. I think Star Wars has one. Like really, I know Star Trek has one every year.
Yeah, Star Trek has one. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con.
Period. Put your little blurb in there. Anime cruise in the Caribbean, that would be lit.
I mean, because a lot of people would be like, yeah, but would you be focusing on nerd stuff, or would you guys just be trying to party? But if you go to something like Dragon Con or DreamCon, you can see you can have both.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you're done with the con, they either changing the regular clothes. Sometimes they be wearing nerd bathing suits and stuff like that. Hey, you can have both, you know.
What's a cosplay that everyone's excited to do this year?
Ooh, that's a good question. All right, I don't really drop my joints in advance.
I'm trying to think, what should I? Yeah, I'm like, I'm sure there's one that I can put out there.
Yeah.
Somebody go first, because I could go right now.
You go. Oh yeah, you go, Shaquille. Whoever.
Well, I'm excited to cosplay Static Shock this year at Brooklyn.
Okay,
Nice.
Girl.
I can't wait to see that.
Thanks. I'm still trying to figure out like what to do with my hair. Should I get cornrows? Should I do box braids and whatnot? So all that I gotta figure out.
I'm
biased. Box braids.
I couldn't hear.
I love a good box braid cosplay.
Wait, Venture
Faux locks would look good too.
Oh yeah, faux locks would be good too. Yeah.
Oh, Venture Bros. I'm cosplaying as Static Shock.
Oh, okay, nice.
Static.
Yeah.
Nice.
This year, I'm trying to do some Venture Bros cosplays. Like my fandom has been begging me. My followers been begging me for years. When you gonna
Okay.
Venture Bros? You got Venture Bros in your name. You ain't did no Venture Bros. So this year, I'm the Monarch. I'm gonna do Brock Sampson. So
okay.
Just bless our screen.
Finally. Yes. You should do South Park Asia because you got okay.
I'll put that on the roster.
Put it on your roster, girl. You could be Wendy Testaburger. Nobody fucks with Wendy Testaburger. I think I definitely, so shout out to Femme Chronicles because you bodied this cosplay and it's probably one of the main reasons why I haven't done it yet because I'm like, she fucking turned this.
No, cut it out.
Black Chun-Li, you ate that. And I really want to do that one. But
Wait, which character? I'm sorry.
I think you did the Black Chun-Li. Am I tripping? It was many moons ago.
No.
Am I
did
tripping?
I did Jury Han and my sister.
Okay, I
she
remember
did
Jury.
Chun-Li. Yeah.
Okay, your sister did Chun-Li.
Yeah, she did.
Out. Okay, so I knew I saw it on your post. I'm like, hold up. I know I didn't do my girl dirty. But yeah, I really want to do Black Chun-Li, and I want to do Kimberly also from Street Fighter. I would love with the big box, like the big braids. I think that would be cute.
I would love to see that on you.
Thank you.
We should do a cosplay group since we all did the podcast.
We totally
I
should.
feel like,
Right?
yeah.
We should.
What would we do? What are we feeling like?
I mean, I'm down for whatever.
That's a good question. I mean, I know a lot of us have done something from X-Men. I know a lot of us have done something from like video game characters. I know we've all done a few video game characters.
Right.
So
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat,
Period.
Marvel.
Sub-Zero, I'm claiming it. I'm calling it.
Wait. Which one? Who you say?
Sub-Zero.
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 You want to do Mortal Kombat?
Okay.
I'm Jade. What's up?
Okay, period. Adrian says she got Jade.
I want Shiva.
Come on now with it.
I'll do that.
I'm with it.
Does anybody else have any characters that they're really excited to do for this year before I add the one that I want to add?
I'm gonna do Itadori.
Itadori.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Itadori from what?
JJK.
Would-
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, Yuji. I'm so used to calling him Yuji.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Who is that? Well, I'm used to calling him Yuji.
Well, since we're on Jujutsu Kaisen, I do want to do a part 2 to my Sukuna because I had other ideas for that cosplay, and I wanted to
Been there for years.
do that.
Your first Sukuna was literally everything to me.
Yeah,
I'm not ready for part 2.
Shelf life on that thing is gonna last forever. It's gonna be like the 4 with me and Jay and them. Like that's how that giant gonna live forever.
Oh, like, bro, stop sharing that same Sukuna. Who is this? Let's stop sharing.
Like, no, so what? She's on my wallpaper. Leave me alone.
So yeah, I want to do a part 2.
Every day.
Right. Period.
Gary, what you got?
Man, I'm working on my own character.
Oh,
okay, come on, OC.
OC, nice.
It's costing a pretty penny, but I'm hopefully the guy that's making it is actually he made the Deadpool costume. So
what?
Nice.
Period.
You mean the original Deadpool costume for the movie?
Well, he did like all of the Deadpool costumes, and he actually is doing the one right now, Deadpool 3. So
Wow.
I'm trying to just get hold of him. So I could get the measurements and all that stuff. The costume that I won from him is crazy. I won a costume from him. He charged like $5,000, but I won it for like $100 in a raffle. And that was like the third costume I got actually.
Wow, look at God.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You save money.
You about to shut it down.
Yeah, for real.
Get the
I'm really
ultimate
excited.
deal.
Yeah. He's a good dude.
That's what's up. Can't wait to see that.
I think for me, the most anticipated cosplay that I'm trying to get together for this year, I have a few that I have like back order from like years ago, but I said I was gonna do Dex from Cannon Busters like 3 to 4 years ago, whenever the show came out. And my process with my costume maker that's building the whole suit for me, it's been quite a process. So I guess that's the most anticipated costume because it's just been so long that I said I was going to do this cosplay. So when I do it, I hope it really, it does what it's supposed to do. It gives what it's supposed to give.
It will.
And did.
I'm get paid, girl.
So, okay, what con are we all gonna be at?
Oh, together. You trying to?
It's gonna be hard.
Organize this in the chat. You want to organize it right
I know,
now.
like
time like the present. Hey,
This is gonna be very difficult. I'm just gonna say.
we all
That's the
got
thing about Venture Bros. He's ready to go now. He'll be ready to cosplay tomorrow. Be like, yeah, I got the suit, everything. I'll be like, dang, can I get a week, dog? Like, give me a pay period. Like, shit.
well, let's go. Oh, that's how my creativity works. When it comes, I got to move on it.
Well, I'm definitely gonna be at Anime NYC.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. I might if everybody can do that, then I'll go to New York.
They changed their date. It's literally the week before Dragon Con now.
Really?
Change the date.
Oh, they tried it. They tried it.
Because I'm going to Dragon Con. Well, it's going to be kind of tough. Okay.
Yeah, everyone goes there.
Yeah, I'm probably on this year too.
Yeah.
Because I've been in years, so I gotta relive that hot life.
The dream. Oh my god. Okay, well we maybe so Dragon Con tentative.
Oh, Florida girl, she wanted to leave Florida.
Who leaving
What are you
Florida?
talking about?
That's
You. You.
Oh,
I know I haven't been to an outside of Florida convention since I started cosplaying, but everybody keeps telling me to go to DreamCon. Everybody keeps telling me to go to what's the other one? DreamCon and Dragon Con. So Dragon Con might be one that I might venture out to this year, but we'll see.
are you in South Florida?
I said you come there.
Yeah, come on.
I haven't been to
I'll-
the site.
I would love to meet you guys. I'm sorry, go ahead, Fawn. What'd you say?
No, I was saying I was right there with you because I haven't gone to an out of state con yet. I want to go to DreamCon. I want to go to Awesome Con. I want to go to like so many cons, but like time and money.
Hopefully we can all meet up and then we can do our Mortal Kombat together.
We'll just get an Airbnb. That's it. That's the solution.
That's a bet.
Yep. I'm with it. I will say, y'all, I love being here, but I have an hour commute back to my house from the office after we leave here. So I'll give y'all 15 more minutes and then
Wrap it up, guys. Wrap it up.
I said it was gonna be 9, but I love it here. So I'm like, I give it another 30. Only because, if I just shut off my laptop and go to bed, then it'd be different, I'd be here all night. And I love my HRC, but I gotta be back here on Tuesday. So I'm like
I'm trying to think. I feel like maybe we had like another topic or two to touch on, but I'm going blank right now because I'm just so excited with the podcast. So
same.
What's everybody watching right now? Has everybody seen Book of Clarence or American Fiction?
Yo, American Fiction. That was great. I enjoyed that.
American Fiction.
I've been hearing so many good things about it.
Yeah. Now the movie I'm really like, all right. I just literally last night I went to see Origin. I'm so mad that it's not getting any award. Like that movie is it's one of the best movies I've ever seen as far as story and like it is a fucking great.
That's huge claim.
I feel like it has something to do with it's written and directed by a black woman. So but it's definitely fantastic.
Okay,
Man,
we know that.
Man.
Duly noted.
Wait, it's a black woman with a white leading male?
No. No. We're not gonna do that white savior stuff. Actually, okay. All right, but John, look.
Oh.
John Bernthal is in this movie. Punisher. He played the Punisher. Mm-hmm. He's great. He's great in it.
Okay.
Oh,
he is a good actor. Shane from Walking Dead.
Shane, yeah.
That's my nigga.
I hated when he died. I really hated.
We all did. No one was right after that. Carl.
What? He knew. that was sleeping with his best friend's wife and got her pregnant?
I mean, you're right.
He didn't know, bro. Like, you gotta think, yo. You think he's dead, man.
He was dead.
You think he's dead, and now
But
you got this love.
No. They was having an affair before the zombie apocalypse. Remember?
Look,
Remember, he
Nah.
found out.
I don't
He
remember
found
that.
out.
I don't remember
That
that.
was the T.
I deleted that. I deleted that. I don't
You
remember.
deleted that. See.
He
He
Like
was
the
talking-
cardboard cutout of Michelle Obama, like that. That's what she's been chilling here, blessing us with black girl magic.
Now y'all got him dating a black woman. Shinobi talking about I need to see this movie. What? On Black History Month. On Oprah Winfrey's Internet, you saying this? Okay.
Why she
Look.
gotta have black people on all her
Look.
movies?
No, I'm
She's
just
just looking for her Malcolm, just like Jonathan was looking for her. His Coretta, okay? I'm just.
Her Coretta, you better be more like Coretta.
I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm mad you even said that.
Coretta Scott King would very much like to be excluded from the narrative.
I'm mad he said that multiple times. When I saw the interview, I said, bro, what I said, no, bro, you did not just say that.
Well, why would you bring her up again? Why would you bring first you brought her up to a white girl, which makes no sense because I don't know who Coretta is.
Bro,
That part though. That part. That was the oddest thing to me. Like what in his mind and his psychology caused him to say that to this woman?
It's crazy.
You're crazy.
They replayed it. She didn't say like, do you know who that is? She didn't say anything. So I'm like, bro, why would you even think she would know that?
Nah, that was crazy. And then
He asked her too. He said, do you know who that is? He said, do you know who
And
that
she
is?
looking like, bitch, no, because I'm white.
Oh, she's not like now Coretta and what she actually brought to black people. So,
no, for sure.
It diminishes, but see, that's such a hotep narrative. The be my Michelle Obama, be my Coretta Scott King. First of all, Coretta Scott King was that girl. Okay, let's not. She was not just MLK's wife. Okay, sis was a decorated opera singer, Spelman alum, and she used her talents and her opera singing to raise money for the movement. Okay, and she was the main reason why MLK stood out against the Vietnam War. So Coretta Scott King was like, they ain't get married because MLK knew that she was gonna be this, like happy housewife. No, he married her because she was that girl, and that he knew
she was doing the
like,
work.
I'm not going to ever find another woman like this. Point blank, period. Same with Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama was the breadwinner until Barack Obama became a senator. She was making $300,000 a year as a corporate attorney. Like, do not sleep on these women.
She was still making more. She was still making more than him when he became senator.
Well, she probably making more than him now because she's selling them books. The becoming. Like, come on, stop playing with your girl. And she was his mentor.
So when Jonathan Majors was saying stuff like that, I'm just like, bro, I know where you're coming from, but this is the wrong person to talk to. And then when he said to Megan, it's like, okay, you just need a publicist. You need somebody to talk for you.
I couldn't believe he said that.
A therapist, child.
He needs a lot. He need a lot.
Yeah.
Need a lot.
I mean, he gonna get. I tell people, I think he's still gonna get work, just not from. Like,
damn.
No,
I already know what happened.
Yo, JM got us. JM got you. JM got you, bro. JM got you. Hey, cut it. Hey, cut it.
Yeah, we got cut it. They're coming for you. You better chill.
Yeah, you're right. You better chill. Right, the Illuminati.
Hey yo. Did y'all see the Monique interview that was on Club?
I ain't see that one yet.
I see it yet.
I ain't even watched Cat Williams in its entirety.
It was great.
I did watch just because he was pouring so much salt and so much tea. I had to watch that one.
Look,
I'm
you
screaming.
got to tell him no.
How do y'all feel though about what Dave Chappelle said when he said that Cat Williams is a painter and he painted this negative picture about black men in the comedy industry? What about the white men who are doing wrong? You didn't say anything about them.
Cat's experience is with the black. He don't go on tour with white comedians. You know what I'm saying? Like Like,
I feel like if somebody's telling their truth, you can't expect them to be like, oh well, I need to
yeah,
look out for black people. He's telling his truth. He got burned by black people, so
Right.
obviously he's going to talk about who burned him. You know, it's
Right.
not a race when he's doing that. You know.
And it's like, what good is it gonna do? Like, that's my whole thing, and why I feel like internalized oppression has become like really my life's work in a lot of ways, because white people gonna white people. Like, and what can I as a black person do to convince you as a white person to see me as a human being? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And I think that, like, with us being amongst ourselves, there's more power, and we can't, and you know, to that point, there's so much more power and prophecy and being able to clean house. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that you as a community have your shit together, and that you're on one accord, and that you're not throwing each other under the bus, because like that stuff, they're gonna try to do things to divide us, and to, you know, like I was talking to somebody about, I think it was you, Venture Bros. So I was talking about negative stereotypes for Black Americans versus Black people in Africa. And how, like, in America, we're fed the narrative of, oh, they live in huts, and we gotta have missionaries give them money because they don't have infrastructure, and all this, not even saying why they don't have some of the infrastructure they don't have, versus in America, where we're like into gun violence and all these other things. And we all get these negative stereotypes and internalize these things, even about ourselves, you know, like women who are performing femininity and being pick-me's, if you will. Or folks who are like apologists for white people. That is really like what I feel like is something that we have to unpack. And it's easy to like point at them and and point at the outside. But it's harder to like look at ourselves as a community and be like, oh, we got some shit to sort out, you know.
No, I absolutely agree with that point. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to drag the discussion out, but
right.
I agree, and that's to my point what I was saying before about the perception that we have on other people within our community, and the perception that they may have at us. And I hope I'm not being too candid speaking about this, but I think all of us have seen our fair share of drama within the Black cosplay creative space community.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to be shy, and I'm not going to try to act like I'm on my high horse. I've been involved in some of that drama in the past. People draw you into the drama. You feel like you need to fight for somebody's cause because you identify or relate to them. And I just feel like a lot of the time that drama gets in the way of the larger picture that we're trying to paint, which is, you know, we want to promote community, we want to promote all of these positive things, but at the end of the day, we're just people, and people going people, you know what I mean? People are going to feel slighted, disrespected. Somebody, you know, people are going to feel like they need to come at somebody or, you know, make an example of them. So many of these things have happened within our community, for me, within the last few years. And I feel like I'm not sure who said this, but it comes with giving people grace and giving ourselves grace. But at the same time, as a community, we do have to recognize and understand the standards that we have within this community. And if we keep talking about it, and we keep promoting it, and we keep establishing what the boundaries and the standards are, then I feel like we can kind of mitigate or do some sort of damage control.
Right.
Dramatic incidents come into play, because people are people. We're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. But we have to keep being proponents and, you know, propellers of positive interactions within the community that are going to benefit not only business interactions, but personal growth and interpersonal interactions, making friends, you know, just meeting people in the community. We have to keep talking about the standards that we have. Cosplay is not consent. Respect cosplayers and their personal. All of these conversations, they have to continue happening, because otherwise people just are left to their own devices, and the issues persist, you know. So
It's like having a community covenant or a G code, really. And that's kind of like the cosplay community is kind of interesting, and really the entertainment industry as a whole, because there is no real like code of conduct or values, or like, say, you know, from like me being in Delta or with Venture Bros being in Kappa Alpha Psi, there's certain, we have a constitution and a code of conduct, like you're not supposed to conduct yourself a certain way representing this organization. And if you do go out of, step out of line, especially as a habitual line stepper, if you will, you know, there are repercussions to that. So it's like, how do you do that in a where like we're not a formal organization, you know, but
Right.
like how do you as a community hold people accountable, call people out, but also call folks in? There's a lot of nuance to it, but I think that just kind of like being in community with folks who you really care about, and also graciously but being tenacious in like how you move and how you treat others, and just and how you protect others as well, can really speak volumes to and make a world of difference as well.
Agreed. Definitely.
Well said.
It might be close to 15 minutes.
Oh my God.
We've had 15 minutes.
Yeah, we are. What you want? No, like,
What is you guys' favorite moment? What has been your favorite moment as a cosplayer?
That's hard.
question.
I think my favorite moment was when someone recognized a cosplay that I did, that a character that's like a side character. Not too many people know her. I cosplayed as Amaryllis from Dr. Stone.
Okay.
And like, I think only 2 people recognized her out of all the cosplays that I've done. Like, other people recognize who I am or whatever. But I felt some kind of accomplishment that they recognized what I created and what I crafted, the headpiece, the corset and whatnot. So I think that was my proudest moment as a cosplayer.
Period. All right. If you're saying specifically as a cosplayer, then I can't bring up the convention. But that was a moment for me. But when I in Baltimore, I was at Baltimore Comic-Con, and I can't place which one it was, because that was my very first con in 2015. But I think it was the one in 2016 that I did. And I was cosplaying San from Princess Mononoke, and I was just roaming through the halls or whatever, and hardly anybody knew who the hell I was unless they were like a huge Studio Ghibli fan, a huge anime fan. And then as I was walking, me and this Asian photographer like locked eyes, and he looked at me like, "Is it really her?" And I'm like, "Yeah," looking at him. And then he pulled out his camera. I got into the pose or whatever, and he took the picture, and he started nodding. He's like, "Mononoke-san." I was like, "Yes, yes, yes." I said that shit in Japanese. I was like, "My nigga, you better." That was a moment for me.
Who's going next?
Anybody else?
I mean, I'm saving mine. I'm trying to let y'all go.
Me too.
This is hard. I'm trying to process. I have one though. So I was going to a con, and there was this kid who had cancer, and somehow his story got forwarded to me or something, and he wanted to go to this convention. He couldn't go to the convention, and I just reached out to a bunch of cosplayers who was going to the convention. We bought him a shield, and like got like all the celebrities that were there to sign the shield and stuff like that, and we got him a hammer, Mjolnir, and got it to his dad and everything, and like the kid was just so happy and so like just so grateful, and that was probably one of the best moments. But and this was like 8 years ago, and now like he's cancer free now and can go to conventions and everything. So it's like yeah, it's cool. I just try to follow up with him, you know, every once in a while, say how he's doing. But that's like probably my favorite story.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dang, Chris, I can't go after that.
Right. That's why I was like, what? And then you just right, go ahead.
That's the top of the top. What? I'm here changing lives. I was gonna talk about Mario.
The healing, you curing cancer and shit. Like, what?
Yo.
Man.
Yo.
Oh my goodness. Well, since I'm hot on the mic, I guess. But one of my favorite moments was, if people, personally know me, they know that I am a Mario World stan slightly.
Okay.
Probably not my wallpaper, but I like to do reels about the Mario universe. And I want to start doing some of those this year. I kind of stopped off last year, but I did a skit with Mario and Luigi doing antics, and they're bothering Bowser. And that was the first time I edited myself with 2 different cosplays, but in the same shot. And I remember I was at a convention, and a group of people remembered that video. They're like, "Aren't you that girl that was dressed as Bowser and you had Mario and Luigi go beat Bowser up?" I'm like, yeah, that was me. So that was actually kind of cool. But yeah,
nice. Your Peach was so cute.
thank you. Even though she's the true villain, but I'm gonna save that rant later. I'm gonna save that rant later. She's a little toxic, but I'm gonna have my later.
Come through with it. Come through with it.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Speak your truth.
Inquiring minds, shut up.
Stay
It's
tuned.
going down in Bowser's world, in Bowser land.
Peaches. Ah,
Right.
hell. Ah. Now I want to know why y'all don't like Peach.
Ooh.
She's so cool.
Wait, what do you mean by that? Because I'm really about to go in on you.
I just want to know, you know what I'm saying?
You must have not had the pink Nintendo DS back in the day with the Super Princess Peach game for that DS at the time. Because if you did, you would know Princess Peach ain't nothing to fuck with. Just saying.
Period. The only thing remotely compared was the drink, and they had Pikachu on it, and then the little Pokeball turned it on.
Oh, come on.
The good
Come
times.
on now.
That was a 64.
Mario won't stand for it. That's all.
Oh, just understand.
I'm staying out of this one.
Hey, photo shoot with me, and you literally are talking like this now?
Wait. What did you say?
That's Peach.
Deception. The deception.
Plot twist. Surprise.
Right, you the one made me dress up as Peach, and then I didn't even know Asia was gonna be Peach. I would have been what's her name? Daisy.
Oh, good times.
Cause what's her name? Paper Doll was Rosalina.
That's right, Los Rosalina.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good times. We need to do that again. Hey, look, we do it again.
Period.
We might have to do maybe the next group cosplay is going to be a Super Mario cosplay.
We could do.
Because obviously the females got to represent.
There's more than enough characters in the series because you got all the Bowsets and the Boozets.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
all the princesses.
Facts.
Yeah, Bowsettes and Boozettes, and you got
Shy Guys.
Or you could do
The
gender
Daisies.
bends, like I did Mario. You could do a gender bend.
So hey, I'm all for it. Y'all know I'm all Team Mario. So
all right, so that's what we settling on for our group. Are you happy now?
What was the original question? The original question was, what was the cosplay that we're most excited to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess mine would perhaps be I already said Dex. That was one that I was really excited to do. But I have some other ones that I feel like I'm excited to do and I can't think about. I'm so backed up in cosplays, I don't even know. I'll just go ahead and say Dex is my most anticipated cosplay for the year. So I'll let the next person go.
Period.
the original question was, what was your favorite moment as a cosplayer?
Oh,
that was the question. Okay, I got completely off track. My
Question.
favorite moment as a cosplayer has been, well, my most favorite cosplay moments ever are with my girls, my sister and
Aw.
my homegirl Jamie, aka Fuzzy Peach Cosplay. One year we went to, I think it was Holiday Matsuri,
Okay.
and I was Genova, my sister was Kaguya, and my
Mhm.
friend Jamie was Vados from Dragon Ball Super. And
Okay.
so when we were in the convention, somebody walked up to us and they were like, all of you are each the most powerful entities in your respective universes. And I was like, yes, you got the concept. That's exactly what we were going for. And that was
Nice.
the best compliment that we've ever received as a trio cosplay. So that was the best moment for me because he literally recognized what we were doing. And I love that.
Yeah. I love
Yo,
it.
Miss Rex, my boy Tristan, Chi-Town. Like,
Yeah, that's a beast right there. That man be making movie prop quality monster builds and stuff.
yeah,
Just
he
not
has
get
never
enough
seen the work.
praise.
He
Yeah.
he was a cosplayer. He kind of evolved into a prop maker, and like recently, he's been making nothing but like giant monsters for movies. They're all movie quality. The last
Mhm.
one he did the Alien Queen from the Alien series.
Mhm.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah.
really
Wow.
He's really, really good.
from the Trench and Aquaman. He specializes in doing monsters.
Yeah. Yeah. From yeah, y'all holler at him on the gram.
Mm-hmm.
Trice
And what's his at? Who are you guys talking about?
Trisec, Trirex.
Yeah.
Oh, in the comments. Yeah, your work is absolutely phenomenal, Trice Rex.
Mhm.
Love your work.
Mhm.
The
And
goat.
Chi-Town right there, Chi-Town.
Mhm.
But favorite moment as a cosplayer. So my favorite moment as a cosplayer was so my daughter's 15,
Aw.
overseas. Her mom's married to a military guy too.
He just
So
was with her though to celebrate her birthday.
yep. So
Mhm.
um with baby girl, my daughter's like anti-nerd. She's not really into nerd stuff at all. So I can't experience like hey, father-daughter cosplays or anything like that. But probably the biggest moment was when I did Proud Family. This was like 2022 when I did Oscar Proud for the first time. So it did really well, went really viral to the point where the director of Proud Family shared it. And, Tommy Davidson, of course, saw it. He shared it on his Twitter. And a lot of the cast shared it. It got circulated so much that my daughter and one of her friends ended up showing it to her. And her friend didn't realize that this is her dad. So when she told me about it, and she was like, "Oh, you did that Oscar Proud cosplay." I was like, "Oh, you went on my page?" She was like, "No, one of my friends showed me." And I was like, isn't that a good thing? Your dad, you get to see your dad, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, I mean, it was okay. They all looked at your feet, your stuff, and I didn't know you were like this internet famous. So I was like, well, I'm not famous, but it's cool to know that your friends at least appreciate me. And I was like, so I mean, you gonna do a father-daughter cosplay with me? She was like, no. So
Dang.
but that was probably my favorite moment. It circulated so much that my daughter was able to see it. So that was probably my favorite moment in cosplay.
She'll come around in her 20s. She's, when your kids are teenagers, you're lame. You're just lame by default as the parent.
Yeah. My daughter, I've tried every different possibility to get her into nerd stuff, like watch anime or to, like coffee. She's not budging. Now, if I told her
It
about
might be a slow burn for her.
if I told her like, hey, let's go to this Greek picnic in Atlanta over the summer, she's all down for that. But the other side, the nerd side, nah, she's not budging.
A win is a win.
Yeah. No, that's still my favorite moment, even though she still wouldn't do it. Hey, still my favorite moment that she saw it. So.
Well, God, mine would be the first 50 state tour that I did. we were on the highway, and 20 plus days. I don't know what day it is or whatever. So it happened to fall on my birthday. We got to Denver, and kid was real ill. His brother was like super excited to see me. I was dressed as Spider-Man, and like I said, it was my birthday. I'm going in the house, and I'm just in the the mode of being Spider-Man. Not thinking. As soon as I walk in, they start singing Happy Birthday. So I'm thinking like, whose birthday is it? You know what I'm saying? I'm just still, still not hitting me. Then, they ask me, you want a cupcake? I'm like, no, no, I'm cool. I'm talking to the son that's ill and, just playing my role or whatever. And then somebody gave me like $50. I'm like, oh, what's this for? I'm like, oh, I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. So we get back to the hotel. I took pictures and all that stuff with them, with the family. We get back and my boy is with me. And he says, man, they were singing happy birthday to you, man. You didn't even say thank you or nothing. And I'm like, shit. So I had to call his mom back and I told her, like, I was just so in the mode and, coming there for your son. I didn't even realize it was my birthday. And y'all giving me this money. I'm thinking it's for gas for us for the rest of the trip or whatever, and I'll never forget that day, man. And, to this day, his mom, her son passed away, but she always hits me up on my birthday, just to say thank you for coming to see my son or whatever. And then we laugh about, me not knowing it's my birthday and all that good stuff. But that's one of the like thousands of memorable moments that I've had over this journey.
Good stuff.
All right. Should we wrap this up? CT can get home.
Yeah, for real, y'all. If I get stabbed by a crackhead, it's your fault, Venture Brothers.
Oh no!
I'm gonna knock on wood just in case.
Hey, yo.
At least I got health insurance. Shit.
That was a very specific.
Hey, well, that's the way to say it, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it
All right.
up.
Wrap it up. If anybody want to, plug their socials, go ahead, plug their socials right now.
I guess we should go in order, right?
Yeah, you go, Shakir Fawn.
Okay. Y'all can find me on Instagram at shakeyourfawn_cosplays. I'm on Instagram. What else am I on? TikTok, Facebook. Just Google.
That's real.
Get home safe, CC.
Oh, you're so sweet. I appreciate you. So as for me, CC the Geek on pretty much every platform except on Twitter. I still use my old username, CC the Greek Geek. If you have to choose to follow one platform, I would prefer it be HBCUCon over CC the Geek. If you don't want to follow us both. But at HBCUCon on all platforms. We also have a Twitch channel, official HBCUCon, all that. Just Google us. We got YouTube, all the things. Same, you can Google me, whatever. But yeah, happy to be here. You guys are amazing. This really made my week.
Everybody, I'm Yuri Williams. Yuri Williams on Facebook. Future Superhero and Friends on Facebook. A Future Superhero on Twitter. A Future Superhero on Instagram. You can also visit afuturesuperhero.com and see all the stuff that we're doing. I got a documentary coming out. I forgot to tell you guys. It's in the film festival, so I'll keep you guys posted when this comes to Atlanta or down south and all that good stuff. So just hoping for the best. Thank y'all.
That's how you know you lit. How you forget you have a
I know.
documentary in a film festival?
And I watched it 64 times. That's how crazy I am about it. So.
Hey.
Gotta be good then. Okay, so you guys can find me at Feminist Chronicles on Instagram and Threads. I deleted my Twitter, so that's all I got. And then you can also see my work and anything else that I have associated on my website, www.feministchronicles.com. And for anybody who is still on the godforsaken streets of Tumblr, find me on Tumblr, feminist-chronicles. I shitpost there all the time. And that's all I got. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been awesome. I've really enjoyed speaking with you guys. Hopefully we can do this again.
Yes. Well, You can find me at Agent MK. I'm pretty much darn near everywhere, but it's been so overwhelming that I decided to make a website so you can look at all of my socials and my random blogs and my other photos at www.agentmk.com. And it was so lovely just chatting with you all. I learned so much from every single last one of you. And I hope you all have a great night. And Cece, get home safe, please, because I don't wanna put blame on Venture Bros over here.
Nah, you're fine. He'll be all right. I'll be fine. These are the streets.
They got a website, dang. But
Hey, the .com got me.
you got .com like that.
I need to set my game.
I'm on Google now, y'all.
I'm like, okay, let me ground myself. But no, find your boy at Venture Bros Cosplay on Facebook. You can find me on IG and TikTok, Venture__Bros. Twitter, it's Venture Bros 2. And that's all I got.
You can find me at Cosplays by Shinobi on Instagram and on TikTok and on Twitter at Shinobi Cosplays. And Yuri, I forgot, I need to get you on the record. Super Bowl weekend. Who you got?
I ain't gonna say nothing else. Can you see it?
I appreciate everybody. This has been a great.
And shout out to Taft Car Design. He can't shout himself.
Yes,
out.
Taft Car.
Shout out to Taft Car Design.
The homie, the reigning Black cosplayer of the year.
Hey, hopefully we all could do this again soon. It was great talking to everybody.
Yeah, I really appreciate everybody for jumping on. As always, Black voices matter, Black artists matter, Black cosplayers matter, Black stories matter, Black culture matters, Black lives matter. All of it.
Right.
It all, yep.
Peace.
Period. Bye.
Hi, guys.
Good
Good night.